I'm going to start off by saying that I think that Sean Porter, in hindsight, was too good to be a PBC fighter, that his career could have flourished on the sunny shores of Top Rank because he had the work ethic of a Top Rank fighter. None of his stablemates exhibited the work ethic of Sean Porter, not Errol Spence Jr., not Keith Thurman, not Danny Garcia. These are guys that are happy to sit out and waste time and waste their best years in a sport where the window of opportunity is very short. If you think about it, Keith Thurman only has one loss on his record. Sean had about three ahead of this fight, but Sean is the one that actually has more to give the sport, even now that he's retired. Sean still has more that he could give the sport if he wanted to than Keith, because Keith is a quasi-retired fighter. Keith is not. I don't see very much left for him outside of angling and soft matchmaking. Because if you put him in there with a high-level opponent, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Whereas Sean, I've always felt that Sean was treated almost like a stepchild over there at the PBC because they gave more priority to Errol, more priority to Danny, even, and more priority to Keith. I think Sean had the work ethic of a top rank kind of fighter, that the guy stays in shape, he stays active. He actually made it a point to have a fight last year with Sebastian Formella. Whereas Keith, what was Keith doing? Interviews about a fight he knew he wasn't about to have, and motherfuckers gobbled that up. You know what I mean? Like, why would you think that Keith Thurman is serious about fighting Terrence Crawford if he had not had a tune-up fight in 12 months and he was coming off of surgery? Why would you believe this man? It's only because you're a moron. Shout out to Standing 8, Kevin Mosby, Luis, Dreamland was good. Johnny Blaze was good. Daniel Rios was good. Boxing Gyms, Running with God. AJJJJ. Cade was good. You know what I mean? I want to say that about Sean because I think that Sean deserves that praise. You know what I mean? I think that Sean should be given his flowers now that he's retired. He actually found his I'm not gonna say he found because he always had him. He fought everyone. He fought Brooke, he fought Broner, he fought Errol, he fought Thurman, he fought Danny, he fought Ugas, he fought Crawford. He has a career that he can be proud of, and he could safely say that he was one of this era's top five welterweights. He can safely say that without dispute. Sean Porter has consistently been ranked in the division's top 10 for years. He never fell off. He was never too inactive, you know what I mean? So he has a lot to be proud of in his career. And I've said that before, that I felt that the PBC is putting priority in the wrong fighters because they don't have the work ethic that Sean has. They more determined to sell smoke, mirrors, and branding over there, which is why he's one of the few good fighters that they have, that they had, I should say. Most important question is, was it pork chops con salsa? Nah, it was pork chops con macaroni and cheese, B. You know what I mean? And I feel like, yeah, you got to give Sean his flowers because he gave us a very good fight that Keith Thurman should have given us a long time ago, that Errol Spence should have given us a long time ago. He gave us a very good fight. And in the end, what did I say? I said this 2 years ago. Sean will end up fighting Crawford before Errol because Errol never wanted that fight. All them excuses he was making about sides of the street, bro. Tyson Fury was on the top ranked side of the street, and he still fought Wilder. What are you talking about? You got guys on your own side of the street that refuse to fight each other. The same way that Keith refused to fight you, the same way that Leo refused to fight Gary Russell. So when you sit there saying all that sides of the street stuff, all that tell me is you don't want that fight. And I'm supposed to sit here and have arguments about, oh no, Crawford was down on the cards. No, he wasn't. You just don't know how to score a fucking fight. What you were hoping was that Sean would make him struggle the way that Errol struggled, the way that Thurman struggled a little bit. I'll say Thurman did better than Errol, but Crawford did better than Thurman. You know what I mean? which a lot of you cats were hoping for. Like, I'm suspicious of anybody that tells me, yeah, I had Sean up for doing what? I like Sean, don't get me wrong. I'm giving him his flowers, but you had him up for doing what? What was he doing that he was up? Enough. Y'all want guys like me to be high on Errol because you're high on Errol, but you can't explain why. And we're gonna get into why. We're gonna get into that. If Porter was with a legit promoter and manager who advised him to get an elite trainer, he would have been a Hall of Fame fighter. The father and son duo has limits. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. The only guy I think that the only father and son duo I think that can take a fighter to that next level is probably Anatoly, because he has all that experience, that amateur grooming experience. So I think Anatoly would be, that their relationship is good. Um, but I'm gonna let Alexis in on the conversation because I want to have a one-on-one with Alexis. He has some very provocative ideas that I want to get into. Um, you claim Crawford didn't struggle, bro. You the guy. This is Killer 187, right? And he can feel free to join the channel. Feel free to join the chat to have this discussion. I'll let him in to have the discussion, and you can tell me how did you have Sean up, on what premise? You can explain it yourself. You're going to be wrong regardless of how you slice it, because like I said, like I always say, I score fights based on the criteria and how I believe the judges have it. The judges had it how I had it. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what you guys think scores in a fight. Like, I literally don't know a lot of the time. Like, what? That's why I don't like to have arguments about scorecards. I don't, because to me it's relatively simple. You either know what to look for or you don't. I could tell you that the reason Crawford didn't struggle as much as Thurman and as much as Errol is because he has better feet than them. And I said that before the fight, that he's going to pivot and shift. He's not going to go back in a straight line so that Sean could jump in. He's going to pivot and get to the side of Sean. And when he pivots, he's going to shoot a check hook. So just in case Sean's head is still there on the line, he could catch him as he turns. Shout out to Willie Lynch. Crawford was that's what I mean. Like, you didn't see Errol laughing at Porter. I literally saw Errol get hurt. And I'm not about to sit here and have an argument. No, he didn't. No, Errol got hurt. He got hit to the body and he got hurt. And I never seen him hurt like that before, but he literally got hurt. But y'all want to have y'all got y'all little biases and whatever, and you think I'm supposed to care about that shit. Crawford was laughing at Porter. I haven't seen a fighter this vicious in a long time. I mean, people can deny it, but I saw what I saw. Same here, bro. Same here. Everything I said in the build-up over a year ago to this week, all of that happened. All of that. Kenny Porter made the right call to save his son. Yeah, that's the other thing. That if your son has already fought everyone, he fought Brooke, Broner, Thurman, Ugas, Danny, Errol, Devon Alexander, Eric Bone. He fought everyone. He literally fought everyone, right? At this point, why would you let him get stopped if you know that's what's about to happen? Like, I don't care what y'all think about shit. I said this is what's gonna happen, and that's what happened. So I'm telling you now, for those that want to know, if Kenny Porter don't throw that towel, Sean Porter gets stopped something vicious. Vicious. That's what was gonna happen. If you think it was gonna go some other way, hey, that's your fucking problem. That's why don't nobody listen to you when you talk. Because the shit you saying don't make no motherfucking sense. What you thought was about to happen? You honestly think he was gonna turn it? All right. We'll listen to you. Kenny Porter did the right thing. He did what any father who also knows the sport, because that was not Kenny Porter's first rodeo. He did what any father would have did. Why am gonna let my son stay out there and get his ass beat to appease these people? These people ain't gonna be in the hospital with him if he get brain damage. He done already fought everybody. Why am I gonna let him get stopped? Like, nah, this fight is over. He's down. He's been down 2 times this round. He's likely behind on the cards. I'm stopping the fight. Now I'm gonna post the link for Alexis. Remember, I already said I want to have a one-on-one with Alexis first because he has some very provocative ideas I want to listen to. And yeah, man, like, I ain't got time for no goofy ass arguments. Like, motherfuckers is high on Spence. I think for two reasons. Either a lot of you guys that's out there, and I ain't trying to judge you, but I am trying to understand what the hell a fixation is because it ain't boxing. You not high on him because of boxing. I can see that much. The man has only fought 2 times in the last 2 years. He hasn't fought at all in the last 11 months. He flips a Ferrari, and if I tell you, yo, this dude is damaged goods, you're gonna get mad at me. If I tell you, well, the man's eye got detached, his retina became detached while he was wearing headgear and sparring. If I tell you, you're gonna get mad. Well, what the fuck you want me to say? You want me to lie? Dude is not good no more. And he was never all that to begin with. His biggest win is Kell Brock, who just got his ass beat by Gennady Golovkin. What you gonna try to tell me that Mikey Garcia was a dope win? No, it wasn't. Why you think there's so many people like me that are not impressed? You hit this fat little lightweight 365 times or some shit like that, and you couldn't even knock him down. He's a goddamn lightweight. Roman Martinez knocked him down. CD Salido made him want to go home early. How come he ain't want to go home early with Arrow if Arrow is what you say is? Clowns don't know the difference between effective aggression and ineffective aggression. Porter moving forward and throwing more don't score more than exactly. Thank you. It's like they make it seem like it's complicated and it's not complicated, all right? Crawford's shots are cleaner. Porter's throwing a lot. He's flurrying a lot, but he's not landing clean a lot. And even if he is backing Crawford off, who's getting off the cleaner, clearer shots? We've had this conversation on this channel a million times. Everything revolves around clean punching. Everything else comes behind that. You could be forward, you could be moving forward, or moving backwards, or moving laterally. But so long as you're the one getting off clean punches and getting them off more often, you're the one that's winning the round. Round before Bud literally asked, "Can I get him?" That's scary, fam. Because he's a goddamn animal. He's a goddamn animal. I bet and won on Crawford 10-12 by stoppage, but anyone that says that this was a masterful performance where he was breaking Sean down, I mean, it sounds like you in denial, bro. I don't even believe you picked Crawford to win because then what are you arguing about? I don't believe you. I don't believe you won anything, to be honest. It's real easy to say that, but like, hey, I got receipts. I've been saying the same thing for over a year. The Crawford gonna stop that dude. Earlier this week, I was on somebody else's channel. Shout out to Lady Chan. I told her, yo, he's gonna stop that dude, and Kenny likely gonna be the one that pulls him out. Because why would you let him get stopped? Like, why would you let him get brutally knocked out? Not just stopped, but brutally knocked out. Why would you let that happen if he fought everyone already? You really gonna sit just to appease everybody, right? Or just for some cartoon notion? Yeah, I want to go out on. Nah, 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 nah. This is father, bro. Shout out to Alejandro. Spence se hizo del baño. Ese tipo un pendejo, man. Ese tipo un pendejo. ¿Cuántos años yo no tengo diciendo esa misma vaina? Que ese tipo un palomo, man. Ese tipo es bultero. Enterito, bultero. Enterito, palomo. Yo, you said you was never gonna go to the fight, but you go to the fight. You see this? You see that Kenny pull a plug on it, or you want to leave before they call you out? Ese tipo un palomo, man. Que? What is there to be high on when it comes to that dude, B? You said on. Yeah, I did. Yeah, pull check. Like I got receipts, bro. None of this, nothing that I say. Like I ain't like one. I'm not gonna do that. That's a waste of time. I'm not desperate to I guess be right. But that's what these guys are, and that's why they still on that Spence bandwagon. They want to be right about something. Who was asking for Crawford versus Porter? The Spence fans was asking for that. I wanted Crawford versus Spence. They wanted Crawford versus Porter. I remember all that shit I seen after the Porter versus. Oh yeah, Porter stop Crawford. Porter stop Crawford. He too strong. He too strong. So that y'all could get what y'all want and then be wrong and then make excuses. I don't got time for that shit. I don't got time for that shit. I told y'all that's what was gonna happen, and that's what the fuck happened. I told y'all he gonna get stopped. I don't know why y'all think y'all be knowing what y'all looking at and y'all don't. And y'all get mad when somebody check you like, yo, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Sorry, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. PBC lost every street crossing fight and they gonna lose more, bro. They gonna lose more. They gonna lose more of them shits. Cause they not in the business of grooming fighters. They're not grooming fighters over there. Top Rank grooms fighters and gets them to the elite level. That's what they do. Matchroom, they do that to an extent or try to, but PBC is not in the business of grooming fighters. They are trying to sell a brand. They are trying to sell a niche, and there is a difference, all right? Spence is a niche. Davis is a niche. I don't know what either of them are anymore. Because that, to me, like, how you elite and you only fought 2 times in the last 2 years? How is Gary Russell elite if he only fights once a year? Now, by that there, eat this man alive. Alive, he'll eat this man. Alive. Shout out to Boxing Gyms. Round 6, the fight was over. AJJJJ says, we all need a Terrence Crawford that we understand. We all need a Crawford to lean on. It's why Ellaby don't want to let Tank cross. He knows. LMA, yeah. That video of him saying no comment to, yo, that's funny. All that ass slicking and all that brown nosing so that he could get curved. All that ass slicking and all that brown nosing. And it's no, yo, like I said, man, I don't know when that shit became cool being like that, but you ain't got to sell your soul to get money. I don't know why so many people are comfortable with the idea of selling their soul and propagating bullshit just for a couple of dollars. You wildin'. If you got to do that, you need to get you some talent or something, because that shit is ridiculous. Motherfuckers really on here propagating bullshit for super chats. Y'all, yeah, not me, dog. I fucking told y'all, if they ever fight, Sean gonna get stopped. And I'll go as far as saying, if Errol and Crawford fight, it might be worse for Errol. He might get stopped sooner than Sean because I don't think Errol is durable anymore. If you got headgear on and your retina get detached, what happens if you get into a fight without the headgear? What happens? Crawford, you like, yeah, like you can think that, like you could tell yourself that, but if you tell me that or somebody in the comments that, we gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell like, yo, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. I'm sorry. He had an answer for all the stuff that Sean uses to bother other guys. Because Sean is coming forward and he charging, sidestep him, pivot and shift. If you can't pivot and shift, if he closed the gap, tie him up and wrestle him. But don't let him throw, because what he want to do is lunge forward, start throwing and hooking off. Nah, fuck all that. I'm going to tie you up. I'm going to smother your work. I'm going to smother you. If I don't do that, I'm going to pivot and shift around you and hook on the turn. And so if your head is still there, mop as I turn. It's like, it's none of it is complicated. There's too many people these days that want to be right about shit. Just admit that you're wrong so you could learn something. That's the best thing you could do. Spence ran to the other ring. Spence ran to the ring after Porter. Yo, talk about it, bro. Talk about it. Why he ain't want to go in the ring? Why you don't want to hype up the crowd? Drew, you know the answer. You know the answer, Drew. If you really wanted to fight Crawford, you go in that ring so you could start selling that fight. If you don't want to fight Crawford, you leave early, suck your teeth, do some old sissified bullshit like he did. Like he did. If you was trying to sell a fight, remember, oh, I want to fight Crawford. Oh, I want to fight the winner of this fight, right? All right, so I'm going to go in the ring. They ain't going to stop me. I'm going to go in the ring. What's good, Crawford? Let's get it cracking. Next year, summer blockbuster, Summer Slam. Let's start promoting this fight. You don't want to have that fight because you left. You left. Shout out to all that constable. Before the 10th, yeah. That's a silly question. Of course, I was confident. My reaction is up live on this channel that you're on right now. My scorecard is available on Twitter. I could literally tell you who I gave the round to and why. You can't tell me for all the comments you're making, how was Crawford struggling? In what way? What was Sean doing to win the round? You tell me right now what's the scoring criteria, the 4 points to win a round. You tell me. And don't Google it. Don't, because if you have to Google it, I've made my point. Shout out to Drew. Jules, go to that video where Crawford said, let's get $1 million. He looked in Bud's eyes like Charlo did Jacobs and saw Phil. Yo, he saw Achilles, B. He saw Achilles, all right? It's simple. Crawford is a warrior. Errol is a pugilist. That's not the same thing, man. Chocolatito is a warrior, right? Chocolatito is a warrior. Crawford is a warrior. Isaac Dogbe is a warrior. Pitufo Diaz is a warrior. Jose Ramirez is a warrior. It's a difference, bro. Josh Taylor's a motherfucking warrior because he could have been on some whole ass. I don't want to go to America to fight for Undisputed. Why can't fight? Nah, he a warrior. Like, all right, the belts is over there. I bet I'm gonna go over there. Usyk, oh, all right. Joshua got the. All right, I'm gonna go get his belts over there. Oh, Gassiev, he got. All right, I'm gonna go get Gassiev belt over there. Glavatsky, all right, I'm gonna go get Glavatsky. That's how that go. And that's why you see guys like me high on them. We don't be high on Spence. What I'm gonna be high for? A dude that only fought 2 times in 2 years, hasn't fought in the last 11 months? What would I be high on? Whatever y'all like about that cat, it ain't boxing related. And that's all I'm gonna say. Whatever, if I see a Spence fan and you a Spence fan or whatever, I'm like, yo, I don't know what you a fan of anymore, bro. I don't know. It ain't boxing. So you like something else about him. I don't know what it is, but it's some other shit. It ain't boxing. Chocolate, yeah, he was. And I firmly agree with that. I do believe he was robbed. I do believe he won the fight earlier this year. It is what it is. But to me, he was robbed. He was robbed. And I said as much here on the channel. Let me post the link for you again, Alexis. Let me post it again. Because I want to see, let's get these provocative ideas out. I would have liked to have seen Sean Porter, or I just wonder how much even greater, because Sean had a great career, right? He had a great career, but I always felt that he did not get the priority at the PBC that he should have got because he has the work ethic that them guys don't have. I bet.
¿Qué lo que?
Nah, tú sabes lo mismo. Gente discutiendo estupideces, puro estupideces. Y que no, Sean Porter estaba ganando. ¿De cuál manera estaba ganando?
No, he wasn't winning. I think that the fight was closer than I thought it was going to be. I think it was more competitive than I expected. But Crawford started dominating in like 6th round, and I know it was like about time for him to hurt Porter. So yeah, and I'm very disappointed of Spence. He running away of, because if that was Porter winning the fight, Spence immediately will get to the ring and ask him for the rematch, bro.
Ya tú sabes. Tú lo sabes. Tú lo sabes. Let me say this too. I also want to add that I had Porter picking up some of the early rounds, but what did I say before the fight? He's gonna pick up some of the early rounds because Crawford is a slow starter. He usually waits till round 3. Well, he might let 3 rounds pass before he starts getting at the guy. If you telling me, oh yeah, I had Porter up, okay, tell me what rounds you had him up, right? Do that and tell me why. If you can't do that, stop arguing, please. Stop arguing because you're just wasting your own time. You're not going to convince me. You're not going to convince the people in the chat. You need to make it make sense because what we know, the judges didn't have Sean up. I didn't have him up. Drew, did you have him up?
Me, myself?
I did not have him up. I was there. I could give him 3 rounds definitively.
There you go.
And the 4th round was a swing round. I gave it to Bud. I can't find 4 round 4 or 5 rounds to give to Crawford. I mean, to Porter. I couldn't.
All right, AJ, you was watching it with me live.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have Sean up?
No, actually, I rewatched the fight and scored it. I only gave Sean 3 rounds.
No, like none of this shit. None of this
That's
shit
it.
is.
I mean, I don't know what's wrong with Killer 187. I don't know if he's a Spence fanboy and he's just trying to sound stupid. But I don't. Yeah, but no. We had butt ahead. The judges did. He was still gonna win. I don't see what the problem. I just don't get it.
Well, I mean, he's look. He's claiming, right? This is what
Yeah.
I'll say. He's claiming that I have an agenda. No, like I have an agenda because my scorecard is in keeping with the judges' scorecard. It's like, bro, like,
You know, I didn't pay attention to the results of that.
Killer 187. I went back and forth with this idiot on another channel yesterday. I left a comment, and he said that Crawford isn't top 10 pound for pound. And I'm like, and he said, oh, it was a fake stoppage. And I asked him, hey, Killer, what was so fake about the stoppage? Could you answer the question? Then he just went, oh, you're just mad. Oh, you just have a man crush on Crawford. Like, you haven't answered my question.
Because
what's so fake about the stoppage?
Thank you, AJ, because that's how you supposed to talk to a dude like that. Like, bro, I'm not going to insult you. I ain't going to come at you well, but you coming at me well. So what I'm going to ask you is, okay, we'll make it make sense. What rounds did you have Sean winning?
I'm about to reset my mic.
What rounds did you have Sean winning? How was he winning the round? Because none of them rounds is hard to score. You think that because he's coming forward and flurrying that he winning a round. Like, I'm sorry if you don't know how to score a boxing match, bro. But before you argue with me, learn how to do that. Because you don't know how to do that. You don't.
Let me put it to you like this, right? Sean's performance is basically like a ball hog in basketball, right? Who shoots a lot but misses a lot. He has a low shooting percentage. Is that not that hard to comprehend what I think about Sean's offense when it comes to scoring punches? Like I had him up like only like 3 rounds to 2.
Yeah, I gave him 3
within the first 5. And then after that, I would say the 6th would probably be like a swing round, but I gave the rest of the fight to Terrence. So it was kind of a blowout in the later half.
Finally said it. The fucking basketball.
Max DeLuca had it the same way I did, but I didn't even see his card. And I'm like, oh shit, this shit matches the one he had. So he saw what I saw.
Yeah, is he the one that gave him?
Sean Porter is the Russell Westbrook of boxing.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shoots a lot, but breaks a lot.
Because one of the judges had it the same way I did it as well. I think he gave only 3 rounds to Sean too. The same thing. It was the same scorecard, right? But the other judges had it close. They head by a point, but either way, he was winning.
Yeah, like the dude telling me, I guess he's trying to sell the idea that Crawford was struggling. I'm like, how is he struggling? Beats, I haven't got to talk to you about this. I want you to champ this shit. What'd you think about the fight? Was Crawford struggling? How did you have it scored at the time Kenny pulled the plug on the fight? Nobody say nothing. Let Beats have the floor. Fascinating. I agree. Very true. I don't know. I think Beats getting his mic ready. But yeah, man, it's like it's not complicated. These guys don't know what a pivot and a shift is. They literally don't know what that is, right? They only know shit that the commentators say. So if I tell you before the fight that the dude going pivot and shift, he not going to sit there and punch with him like Errol did. The reason Errol did that is because he fucking flat-footed. He can't move out the way, or he don't got the feet to move out the way. So when Sean come forward, what he gonna do is he gonna trade. A smart person or a guy with feet that actually has feet, you gonna shift. Like, what I'm gonna stand here and punch with your little ass for? I could just shift and hook on the turn.
And Ray, you know what, guys? You know what Sean said. He did an interview. He said Bud hit him clean more than anybody else.
Bro, on the interview, he said that Bud is way more different.
I just watched that too.
He did an interview and said that Bud was a way harder fight than Errol. That fight was harder than going 12 than Errol.
Hello.
Anyone can see that.
That Errol fight.
I'm gonna give
came
Beats
down
the
to
floor.
one knockdown.
I'm gonna give Beats. Didn't it though? Really? Like, to me, it was even. What saved the fight for Errol was the knockdown.
Yeah.
All right, now, Beast, tell me what you thought about the fight, because I didn't get to hear your recap about that fight.
I agree.
I agree. Me too. I'm in agreement.
I think right now Errol Spence is like a 147 Berchelt. He's like overrated power puncher.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say that Berchelt has a legit resume. He has a legit resume, like Takeshi Miura, Francisco Vargas 2 times.
But what power? When's the last time there's been a man down though?
Bro, that shit, man. That shit.
Ocampo. How long ago was that Ocampo's fight?
3.5 years.
And Ocampo took that fight on short notice.
Yo, these the only guys that'll make a gimmick. These is guys that'll make a gimmick around something that they cannot live up to. Like Keith Thurman was one time. Now it has not been one time in a long ass season.
Now it's once upon a time.
Like come on, like you couldn't Sebastian fucking what's his name? Martin from Spain fucking pushed around Mikey Garcia and fucking Spence couldn't hurt him.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
You got these Spaniards, Martin and fucking Kiko fucking winning like they're fucking Hernan Cortez over here.
Pero tú sabes lo que también le doy su crédito y su flores porque esos tipos son guerreros. Errol is a businessman. Keith is a businessman. Them guys is not like fuck out of here.
And the funny thing is, Drew, they're not even trying to fight for the biggest prize.
Let me answer this super chat. Opinions on Ward having Porter up on his card. My honest opinion is that Ward is off base, and he's been off base for a while now.
I don't trust anybody that's scoring fights fucking from teleprompter because they don't want to get the COVID shot.
Is that why he's not at the fights?
I'm pretty sure that's why. You could tell.
I suggest Killer.
We'll see, Jules, if he's at the fucking the Loma Comey fight in New York. We'll see.
Now let me address this. Dominant. That's not what I said. I didn't say that. I'm going off the judges' scorecards. If Crawford won more rounds, you could characterize it as being dominant. What did I say? He had to work for the rounds that he won, but he won more rounds. It's that simple, bro. It's not complicated.
And I'm not that sure that Porter is the smaller man. He's like a very big welterweight.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's not a complicated issue if you ask me. That's all I'm saying. You make it complicated because you have an agenda. And really, he could say that I don't like Errol. You could say that, but I don't believe you. You could say that you won money. Unless you show me a receipt, I don't believe you. Now, Drew won money. Drew could show me a receipt because he won money. I don't know who you won. If you in New York, who did you bet on? Because you ain't in Vegas, I'm gonna assume. So who did you bet on? And who did you bet with? Fuck out of here, man. I don't got time for that kitty shit.
Wait, what happened?
What you mean?
Oh, I thought somebody was trying to come at you or something.
Oh no. I'm. It's just a discussion. Yeah, it's just a discussion. But like I said, but
why can't people just give Crawford his credit? Is it really that hard? You know what I mean?
You know why?
I mean, to me,
I know why, but it's just, man, it's just come on now. You know, it's just getting ridiculous at this point. You just gotta laugh.
At this point, Jay, I think it's about they just want to be right about something because they've been wrong about everything else. They've been wrong about before they were wrong about Rigo and Loma. They were wrong about Wilder and Fury, and this is the latest fucking thing they were wrong about. That's what I think it's about. I
mean, first of all, I just want to applaud the WBO for ordering this fight because if it hadn't been for them, we wouldn't have gotten it. So, I just want to, give a shout out to them. But I'm glad they did because, hey, Ray, you've been saying it. It's like the fanboys of PBC have been calling for this fight for a while.
Yep, they wanted it more than we did.
Yeah, exactly. But now it's here, and they still can't accept the result.
And thank you because that's
one day gatekeeping like Bud, by you gotta face Porter, before you get, Spence, and you're just a 60-40 guy, and you're a one belt guy. Well, guess what? Guy just took, just beat out the guy that your favorite, your son, your boy, got, went to war with for 12 rounds and had to knock him down to get a decision,
Some motherfuckers there's a thin line between stubborn and stupid. And a lot of these motherfuckers is just plain old stupid, to be real with you. Like, look, it's a guy that asked, and I'm not trying to come at him, but he just asked, why is it Spence hate? Bro, it's not hate for me to say that the dude left before the fight was over. If you wanted to call out Crawford and you wanted to fight him, you would not have done that. You would have went in the ring and you'd have been like, yo, what's good? Let's get this fight cracking for 2022. What you did was you left before they realized you was there. So
I didn't even think he was gonna show up.
Yeah,
it's been mostly him, like Crawford, coming into his fight, hoping that he would call him out.
Real shit.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't make him leave. He chose to do that.
Yeah, like how you gonna get mad at me for pointing that out? I'm saying, look, the dude don't want to fight Crawford because when Fury went the wildest fight and he came into the ring and he talked his shit and they actually did end up fighting. You know what I mean? Errol, he went into the ring after Manny beat Thurman, I think it was. He went in the ring for one of them. I know that. Jay was good.
The problem with thing, man. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, the problem with not saying this guy here, but the problem with Spence fans is they can't be a fan, and when it's time to give tough love, give tough love. Spence hasn't done everything correct. He hasn't. He went there yesterday hoping that Porter would win to make his win appreciate, and he's going to stand in there, oh, Porter beat Crawford, and the only man to beat him is Errol Spence, and it didn't work out like that. Porter dominated, Crawford dominated the championship rounds like you're supposed to. I hear a lot of people keep saying, oh, people are getting high on Crawford when he was struggling. He wasn't struggling. This is a championship fight. Porter is championship material. And Crawford handled him, man. Crawford handled him. He pivoted, and like you said, he done the Matador thing, pivoted off him, sidestepped him. When it got to the muscling, he like when Porter tried to get on top of him, he pushed him off. He wasn't
even in the clinch. He did this in the first half of the fight. Porter closed the gap. Crawford ties him up, and he doesn't just tie him up. He pushes him into the ropes. You know what I mean? Like letting them know, like, bro, you're not stronger than me. Like I know. I hope you don't think you're stronger than me. You could try to outmuscle Keith, and you could try to outmuscle Danny and whoever. You're not going to outmuscle me. That's what that is, bro. Why do you think he doing that? When you see that, what you think? That he's scared? Why you think he in there laughing?
Jules, they all surprised how strong Crawford is. It's that fucking Cornhusker field strength, man.
I mean, it ain't even that. It's that he's a fucking
They must have missed the Jeff Horn fight.
He's a fucking professional. Look, when Keith lost to fucking Manny, what he said, he was sat around eating fucking ice cream, getting fat. You told me who you are then. Errol, you just unified 2 alphabet titles in this division, and you decide to get behind the wheel drunk. You're not a professional. I'm sorry. Not a professional. You don't live like a fighter. Now this dude,
and Terrence is older than Spence. He's older. Someone told me he was 35. I was like, he's 35.
Yep. But he takes care of himself. If you look at him between fights, what is he doing? He's helping. He would be helping because they're not as stable mates anymore. But he'll either be helping Shakur or he'll be helping Jamel or just somebody. He even helped Michaela Mayer. I'm like, bro, like the dude he got a work ethic. Sean had a work ethic, which is why he was consistent throughout his entire career. Like, bro, you're not going to keep this dude out. You better have the feet because you're not going to be able to keep this dude out. So it's either you going to bullet Matador him or you going to give him the fight that he looking for. That's what Errol did. The only reason Errol was trading with Sean is because Errol couldn't keep him out. Your jab wasn't good enough. It wasn't better than Brooks, which is saying a lot because you're a fucking southpaw. Brooks is an orthodox fighter. You're supposed to be able to shoot that jab and move off to your right to stay out of his way. Instead of doing that, what you do? You have a phone booth fight because you got slow feet and your jab ain't all that.
And you heard what Porter said post-fight.
Mm-hmm.
Said, the Crawford fight is way tougher than the Spence fight. That's what he said.
But if I say that, I'm a hater. I'm a hater if I say, like, look, this is what Sean said. I'm not the one saying it. Sean said that shit. What you want me to do? Ignore it?
Ray. You're just a fanboy. You don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
You know,
like fuck me, right? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Boxing Jim says, what does the panel think the pay-per-view numbers will look like? Hopefully good for the sake of real fights. I believe it's between
Hopefully
325, and 350. I hope, but I also believe, because I saw Magic Johnson tweet about the fight, and that tells me that, all right, at least people knew about it. If somebody like Magic Johnson is tweeting about the fight, people know about the fight, and they did sell out. So I mean, let's hope.
Yeah, no, it was a raucous crowd, sellout, highly entertained. That's how I know. If you make Charlo Andrade, even though the fight might not be appealing aesthetically, it'll sell.
It'll sell.
Let
me read this and pass it to Beats. I remember you talking about Spence's "shut up and box" tweet after Crawford had him cornered for the fight. Sometimes it is what it is. Spence is scared. Yeah, and I do believe he's scared. I don't buy into that myth that, oh, no fighter is scared. No, he's fucking scared. He's scared. He
thought Canelo was gonna come to 160 for him.
Yeah, like he moves scared. He acts like a child. He's scared. If you want my opinion, like, yeah, that dude's scared, bro.
He shook.
He pulled, like I said, he pulled a Charlo when Danny ran up on him, when Bud ran up on him.
Because that's the
same energy.
Because that's the cloth that he cut from. That's why. Beats, what say you? Is that not the cloth? That's the cloth that he cut from. Well, I'm supposed to act like Charlo and Spence. What, they Hagler cloth? No, they not Hagler cloth. No. They not Leonard cloth. No.
Hey, Ray, you know what I get from Spence and Jamal, guys like that? It's like they want to be bullies, but as soon as they come up against somebody who's not going to take shit from them, who's actually going to fight them, the bitch in them is going to show up. Watch.
Yeah.
And they're gonna fold like chairs.
Yeah. That's what I saw.
I believe Demetrius, Jamal gets in the ring with Demetrius. Demetrius is going to show him what's up. Bud gets in the ring with Spence. He going to know what's up. And it's only a matter of
I've been saying it for 4, maybe 5 years. Andre to beat that dude. You're not gonna take me off of that square. I'm gonna die on that hill. Andre to beat that dude. Why? Because it's not hard. It's not hard to put it together. Charlo's a 1-2 fighter, bro. That's it. There's no nuance. There's nothing.
It's very he's basic. He's very basic.
Basic. He's a basic.
You can
boxer.
You can pretty much time him. You can read his his rhythm. You know, it's there for him. That's what Montiel was able to fire off them shots and return shots to him.
Now see, with Demetrius, I was very impressed with this Quigley fight. He took a hands up, aggressive approach. But with Liam Williams, he was very awkward and herky jerky and stuff like that, very slippery.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say Liam Williams to me, and once again, motherfuckers not gonna like it, but he's at least a top 15 middleweight in my eyes. Montiel is not. There's no reason for me to believe that he is a top 15.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Exactly. I think Demetrius is smart enough to know, like, bro, I still at least gotta entertain every fight I'm in, regardless if these motherfuckers don't want to fight. Like, bro, I gotta want to.
I think he broke his jaw.
No, he did.
I will spend money to go see a Demetrius Andre fight if he's fucking entertaining. I go to boxing all the fucking time. Like, come on, bro.
Boo Boo has the potential.
I mean,
he just
guys,
cruises too much.
I wasn't even going to watch the Quigley fight, but I did because I like to watch Demetrius fight.
I'm saying,
he just cruises too much.
It's like you got a guy like the audience approaches a Charlo Montiel fight knowing that there's a high probability that Charlo will win the fight. So the least you can do is win in emphatic fashion and leave an impression. Nah, you're going to waltz with the guy for 12. Like, bro, nobody want to see that.
But once you leave with your face swollen, you get wobbled twice, and you're actually struggling with this guy. That raises eyebrows.
Bro, look,
those left hands were really fucking him up for Montiel.
They were, yeah.
At the end of the fight, I think it was this eye that was puffed up and swollen. But
it was his right eye, I think, right? His right eye.
And people want me to believe that he like a boogie. Bro, not if you getting touched up like that by Montiel. That tell me if Montiel can touch you, Demetrius can touch you.
Like if you're struggling with this dude, what is Demetrius going to do to you when he gets in there?
Korobov came out of
I gotta
got
ask
off his couch and
I
did
gotta
his
ask
thing.
the panel. I didn't like what I saw from Yanni Beck not trying to close the show and relying too much on that Amy style. He had Nadam hurt several times and just backed off. 4 or 5 different times he backed off, didn't let it go.
I'm gonna say this.
He was too predictable.
I'm gonna say this about Endom though. You got a guy, he's moving away from you, right? He's not trying to fight you back. He's not trying to fight you off. So for me, it's a mix of things. What I didn't like about Yanni Beck was the head hunting. The fucking body was there all night for him, and he didn't go there. That's what I didn't like.
So listen, let's
You
keep
can
it up.
you can tell he doesn't really go down there at all.
The Zanny Beck thing has been a bit overinflated. Yeah, he hasn't really done anything yet. He's got 6 stoppages in 10 fights. He's beat Rob Braun. Some people need to calm down with Zanny Beck and let him get on with developing, you know what I mean, his repertoire. And
Klimas is trying to get him ordered as Boo Boo's mandatory tomorrow. They're gonna have a meeting about it.
He is gonna be his mandatory.
I like Boo Boo in that fight after what I saw. I like him.
A lot of people are screaming, oh, well, they need to get him in a fight with Andrade. The next thing they're going to do, Andrade's ducking Andrade. They get in the ring, Green Zanny Beck gets beaten by Boo Boo, and they're going to say, oh, you see, you mean he wasn't ready. You mean, then that's what they're going to do. I know that's what they're going to do.
The next Triple G.
And I'm gonna change my pick. On that note, I am gonna, because I do agree with Drew to an extent that if they order it and the fight happens and it's next, I'm gonna go Andre on point.
And Boo Boo knows Johnny Beck he could be dangerous, so Boo Boo's gonna know, like, all right, don't fuck with this guy. Keep him on the outside on the end of the jab.
Andrade will stop him. Andrade's gonna stop him.
It's possible he drops him early and catches him with something he doesn't see.
I haven't seen them Eastern Bloc boys get stopped like that yet.
I mean, no.
I haven't seen Yanni Beck's chin tested at all.
I'm not gonna say because Yanni Beck is from Kazakhstan and Beck is from Uzbekistan, but just to that point, that have those Eastern Bloc guys been stopped? Yes.
Some block over to the other Beck when he fought Gabe. They don't get stopped.
They get stopped.
But I don't think he's Johnny Beck is as dumb as Beck the Bully.
Eastern Bloc. You said Eastern Bloc guys don't get stopped. Anyone gets stopped. If you ain't
anyone
ready
can get stopped, that's true. But
anyone.
It's the first time for everything. Terrence stopped Sean last night, y'all.
Listen. Let's remember.
The fix was in. Kenny Porter threw the towel, bro. That wasn't a stop.
We went around the road when they were saying that travelers don't quit. And then Billy quit. And then yesterday I watched Jose Burton challenging for the British title against Dan Aziz. And what did he do? Tyson Fury was in there, his cousin. He quit.
Bruh, it's niches. To me, it's all niches. What I'm gonna say is I do agree with Drew that the style did seem amateurish, a little bit predictable. The body was there, he didn't go for it. And I just didn't like that. Like, bruh, if the body is there and this guy's moving, go for his body so he stopped moving. But I think a lot of the hype, at least for me, the reason I was hype about Yanni Beck, and I still am to a degree, is because of his corner and what he can do. He has a strong corner in Buddy McGirt. Strong corner.
Why are you rushing Johnny Beck? What's the rush with Johnny Beck? What's the rush exactly?
Because middleweight needs some new freshness to it.
Because he's 28
if Munguia steps up, that could be.
Here's the thing.
But my thing is, I'm gonna apply the same thing to Tank that I would Yanni. They're over 27 now. Over 20 plus fights.
Arguing about Joshua Buatsi getting a shot against Thing and against Bivol. No, he can't do it. But all of a sudden, he needs a shot now. Zanny Beck why? How does that work? He's not ready. Like,
I'm gonna tell you this. Joshua Buatsi and Yanni Beck are in the same place, right? What's the difference? Munguia, we know Munguia don't want that Andre fight now, and I don't want to hit because I saw Gustavo of the WBO. He posted some bullshit, and it's like, bro, you're just reiterating what I'm saying. He doesn't want the fight. If you wanted the fight, it's there for you. If Munguia wanted a shot at the WBO, he'd get a fucking shot at the WBO. So behind Munguia is Yanni Beck. So it's one or the other. And that's where that comes from. That, well, he's there.
But when would Boo Boo have to fight him? Because
And
wasn't
Yanni
Williams
Beck's
his last
calling for it.
mandatory?
Yeah.
If a man's calling for the
He'll
title
just be
shot and he's
he'll just
there,
be placed as the mandatory.
we're gonna
He'll be
find
It
out
won't
if
be
he's
ordered
ready or
yet.
not. We're gonna find out if he's ready or not.
I mean,
That's
Jaime
what
gonna
happens.
is. I mean,
Like
which route is Jaime? I
like
mean, which
Joel
route is?
says, you have to fight the fights.
Period.
I mean, which route is Jaime gonna go? The WBC route? You think?
He
I
already
think
yeah
he's
he
gonna
already
go to
said Sergey.
WBC route. Already,
He's already said he's facing
bro, I
Sergey.
figured that. Look, nobody wants to fight, and I said this already 4 times in the last 4 weeks. Nobody wants to fight a tall southpaw that's a jabber. Nobody.
Wait a minute. Who's
Who-
the
who-
IBF champ at IBF 160?
Triple G.
Gennady.
Gennady Golovkin.
Gennady. Yeah, but
Nobody,
he won't fight anybody.
nobody wants to fight a tall guy who's a jabber and a southpaw. No, of course not. He's all wrong for everything that can be wrong about a guy. That's what Andre is. He's tall, he's athletic, he can move, and he's a southpaw with a jab.
Wait, Ring. You know what's wrong with Andre? He's a southpaw. He's black and he's good.
Ugly.
Tall, black, handsome. Runs in the family.
Okay, I want to say this. Often we complain about sanctioned bodies, but when a guy is about to get a mounted position for a belt, you should get it.
Yeah.
You should get it. If he loses, he loses. If he wins, he wins. If you wanna take serious the belts and the sanctioning bodies, we should respect the ranks. It's top 3, it's top 4, so why not?
Yeah,
If he loses, he loses.
Yeah, look, this is the thing. I'm not against Joshua fighting Bivol, though. As a boxing fan, you want my honest opinion. I don't want to see Joshua versus Bivol. I want to see Joshua versus Smith. That's what I want. I think that's a great fight, especially aesthetically. When it comes to Yanni Beck, I'm settling for Yanni Beck because I know Munguia won't take the fight. That's the issue. Munguia won't take the fight. He keeps finding ways out of it. He was supposed to fight Kanat Islam. Kanat Islam turned into Turiano Johnson. And from Turiano Johnson, we go into Gabriel. Like, he don't want the fight. So I'm like, well, he ain't going to fight the fight. Who's behind him? Yanni Beck. Okay, so give it to Yanni Beck. Fuck it.
Didn't Demetrius say that Jaime did turn it down? That he didn't want it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's why
He said I'm not ready yet.
But
Yeah.
who's the immediate challenger for Bivol then with that WBO belt?
Zerto.
It's gonna be Zerto.
When Zerto beats Gonzalez, it's going to be Zerto. And you know what? I'm okay with get at him, Zerto. Do I honestly believe he wants to fight? Not really, but we'll see. If he proves me wrong, great. We get a fight.
Yeah, because if Zerto wanted to fight, he would have took that fucking shit in December
Who
and
wins?
been ready for
Who wins?
Canelo in fucking May.
I got Bivol.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm not gonna lie. Zerto's a southpaw, but because he's a mid-range to inside fighter, it doesn't really matter that much. He's not a jabber.
Exactly.
The
He
thing
could
I
get a
don't-
decision
the thing-
though.
the
Those
thing that
Mexican
blows my
cards.
mind- The thing that blows my
Yeah,
mind.
if
too,
it's a Golden Boy Promotions card, but that's why I'm not sure it's gonna happen. Is it
It's
gonna
not.
be? Is it gonna be a Golden Boy Promotions card?
Nah,
What,
Eddie's
Golden
gonna
Boy
want
got
that.
more money than Matchroom? Nah.
Eddie's gonna want to put that on the Usyk Joshua undercard probably. I bet you.
Yeah,
I got
like-
Bill. I got Bivol in that fight as well.
I do too.
I actually got Bivol beating everybody at 175.
Everybody but
that's
I think
kind of-
Arthur's the biggest threat, but that's how I see
That's
it too.
kind of how I have it, but I ain't gonna lie to you, Jay. I don't know how Bivol would do with that Vlasov kid.
Vlasov was about to cook his ass.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Well, about to is that's opinionated, and I have an opinion that he beats him as well. I would say this. My argument for Bivol is I can see him dictate. Somebody just brought up Alter Beterbiev. If I seen him in the bigger man against Joe Smith, and I watch how Bivol handled him and was able to work his jab, deal with that side.
Whoa, but Joe's not Arthur though.
Let
No,
him finish his point. Let him finish his point. Hold on, one at a time.
Oh my God, man.
Hold on,
Hey,
Jay.
listen.
Hold on, Jay. Finish your point, then Beats, then Eson, because y'all talking over each other. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, listen. Joe Smith is a strong guy. He's probably, I think, correct me, he's like 6'4", 6'3".
Not 6'4". He's about 6'1". Blasov is like
6'1",
6'4".
okay. All right. Okay. So I watched Bivol fight Joe Smith, and Joe Smith is a strong puncher. He comes forward, and I mean, some will argue the bigger man. When I watch Bebo be able to box, keep him at the end of his jab, dictate him, and also dictate the action of a strong man. Now, Ultimate Beef might be considered a strong guy, but I don't think his jab. I don't think he is coming forward. I don't think he works behind a jab good enough to all work. And then I think Bebo will pepper his face up. And if I'm not mistaken, Bebo beat him in the amateurs already. So I'm sure they have some type of he have some type of comfort with being in the ring with him. Now, however, it's a pro fight and it's different, but I think Bebo will just box his face in until possibly stopping him or walking him into tracks and setting him up all night.
All
I
right, now,
got Bebo.
all right, now, go ahead, Beats.
Bivol is one paced, right? And like his opponents, like Chalimba, past his best when he fought him. Like his peak was probably at 2013.
That's true.
Pascal, old. Joe Smith, raw.
Beats, don't do that. Because that's
Lenny-
the same Pascal. That's
Come
the
on.
same Pascal that went on after that and beat Marcus Brown.
He was on gear. He was on gear. Remember?
I don't rate Marcus Brown. Lenny Castillo, well, I mean, he went the distance. I'm not going to do a triangle with what Callum Smith done. That's unfair. But it's there. It is there, isn't it? Right? One paced. It was one paced. Craig Richards, domestic level, one paced. Yeah? The minute he fights someone who's got a couple of gears, then I'll see how good he is.
But who has a couple of gears, Beats? That's the question. You know, like, see, this is my thing. I'm kind of with Jay on this, though I don't agree about the jab. Artur shows a jab. It's just not much of a jab. You know, it's a double jab to get close to the guy. That's the kind of jab that he got. That I'm gonna just jab my way in, but I'm really just trying to get close to you. You know what I mean? It ain't it ain't a motherfucking Lomachenko jab. As far as jabs, Bivol has a better jab and uses his lead hand in more different ways than Artur does. The shit for me is not even the jabs, it's the legs. Artur is 37? Bro, this dude is
And that's
old.
my point. That fight's gonna come down to who's more active and in better precision boxing shape.
I don't mind the
I don't like that inactivity of Arthur.
I don't mind the Bivol Boatsy fight. I don't mind if Boatsy gets it now, because Bivol is a small, light heavy. He's one paced. He might outpoint my guy, but offensively, he has got something that could potentially trouble Bivol, and he's got the power. Where a lot of the other guys, I mean, like a bit one pace. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I don't mind
it, Beats, but it's not gonna. You know what this shit is? This is the cool part. I have no fucking idea how this is gonna, because I don't believe Golden Boy really wants the Bivol fight. I honestly don't. Like they're lining Zerto up for the fight, but I'm really thinking like, so when it comes time to do the shit, are you gonna send Zerto over the Matchroom? Because you can't win a bidding war. You know, you can't win a purse bid against Matchroom, not for this. So are you gonna send him over there? And can Zerto win a decision, or can he actually stop Dimitri Bivol? Because I don't think much of Zerto. I don't really rate him. Like, bro, who did you beat?
If I was Golden Boy, I would just feed Zerto to fucking Benavidez. At least I'll get more money.
But they're invested in him, bro. You can see they're invested. They want him to be like a guy. And I'm like, all right, well.
He ain't that guy, though, B.
Hey.
He's not that guy. Hey, he like that meme says, you're not that guy, pal.
Yeah, that's
you're
how
not that
I
guy.
feel. That's how I feel. They're like, yo, he's
I just
not
don't
the
see
guy.
it either.
He's not
either.
He's not in the division to be the guy. Leo, go ahead. Leo has the floor.
Okay, I have a question for you. When Bivol was asking for that Canelo match, how long ago?
Bivol, he was. I mean, it was like a year. It was like a year.
Yeah, was okay. Was at the time what Caleb Plant was trying to make the match with Canelo?
No, it was actually before. It was actually like I remember Bivol said, "I'm willing to come down to 168 for Canelo or Callum Smith." This was before Canelo actually fought Callum Smith. Callum still had the belt, and about a year ago, Bivol said, "I can make 168 just fine because I'm not a big light heavyweight. I'm willing to come down for him or for Canelo." And you know, we all know what happened after that. Canelo ended up beating Smith, but he said he'll come down for Canelo too. He did say that.
Other question: when Zurdo was trying to get a shot of the WBO title,
Hold on, say it again. Say it again.
when Zurdo tried to get a shot, at what time he started to try to get a ranking in the WBO to get a
Oh,
title
that
of
was
given?
3 weeks ago, bro. That was literally
3
3 weeks
weeks.
ago.
Okay. Okay.
Literally, like he was. I'm telling you, the same week that they updated their ranks, I did a video on it the day before. He was not there, right? He literally wasn't there. The day after that, he pops up at number 5. That's why I don't believe him. Like, bro, you got with Golden Boy at the beginning of this year. They had all that time to put you in there. They just now putting you in there. But I'm like, yo, do they really want that fight? Really?
Yeah, but why?
Quick
Why
question
do?
about Zurdo, right quick. Didn't he duck out of that light heavyweight tournament with all them?
Yeah, that's why. I mean, that's another. How you duck it? Look, you know who was in the tournament at the time? Joe Smith wasn't even in the tournament. Come to find out, he replaced Zurdo in the tournament. It was Aleda Alvarez, Umar Salamov, and Maxim Vlasov, and Zurdo. And you didn't want to. You don't want to fight for it. Like, nah, come on, B. I don't believe that dude, man. Like, I don't believe that dude.
But why get a ranking to get in line for that title if it doesn't want that title?
Look, that's a
Why?
great listen, bro. It's a great question. I'm just saying, I find it hard to believe. I really do. Because Golden Boy don't have a lot right now. They don't have a lot. Zerto is one of the only things they got. And I'm like, yo, y'all really want to put him in there with Bivol? Y'all really believe that he could win that fight?
So
I don't know.
what do you think
I
about
know why.
Golden
I know
Boy?
why.
What do you think about Golden Boy getting knocked off of the zone after this year? Is
No,
that
I don't know if they are because I literally, and I'm not even kidding. I don't know if they are. Joe Markowski, I did a video on it. He said we're gonna do more fights with Golden Boy. We love what they're doing.
Hey, somebody.
Everybody. Hold on, I'm gonna pass it back to you, Jay. Everybody thought that they were gonna get kicked off. That's what the rumor was. But Joe Markowski of the Zone said, no, we love Golden Boy. We're gonna do more fights with them. So that kind of killed that notion for me. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey, somebody asked why did they put him in position?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what he asked?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. They put him in position so he can move him as needed and to be in position for it. That's what a lot of nowadays. That's what these fighters do. They get in position, but if they're not certain about who they want to fight, they'll just try to wait and hold that position. So when they're ready to take it,
Yeah, because his next fight, which is set to go down next month, it's a final eliminator. So if he win, he the mandatory. And I'm like, look, all that shit look good and all of that, but I don't really believe you, bro. Like, I just don't believe you, bro. Like, nah, man. Eddie offered you that fight last year, and you didn't take it. Now you would go. Oh, now that you were Golden Boy, yeah, you fake one. I don't know, B. It looked funny. It felt
no,
funny.
they both doing that though. That's the same thing with McGear. Like McGear been in a spot and he choosing not to take, it, but he holding. I bet you, if anything happened with the champion at for the WBO, he'll jump right in and go for that belt.
Yeah, that's exactly like let's say Demetrius was to move up tomorrow, belt goes vacant. Who in position? Munguia. And
Yeah,
then
but
he'll want it. And
it's not even. It hasn't. It doesn't have to be like that. For example, Dimitrios Andrade. Maybe he gets a bad performance. After that, Mungia asks for a title shot.
maybe, but Demetrius is like it's like look, it's obvious with Munguia because this is not new. Munguia was number 1 last year, bro. Last year. And instead of looking to challenge Demetrius, he was looking to fight Kanat Islam, the little old dude from Kazakhstan. Why are you looking at Kanat Islam, bro? If you wanted Andre, you could fucking get him. Let's cut the shit. If you wanted him, you could get him. You don't want him.
And man, Gabe just gave him a serious run for his money.
I mean, he was the mandatory as soon as he moved up from 54.
Yeah. He got
He had the belt.
look, he been had a number 1 spot for over a year now. If you wanted Demetrius, you could have got him. Let's like we can't do the something like and Zerto. It's I feel the same way about Zerto that
Agreed.
he was talking to Eddie Hearn last year. That's what everybody missing. There's photos of that shit. That I literally thought he was gonna get signed to Matchroom. I literally thought. And Eddie Hearn came out with an interview last year wearing the pajama pants. I think that was at a Canelo fight. He was wearing a pajama suit that Canelo bought him. And he was like, yo, we offered him that fight, bro. He didn't take it.
You know
But
what? I see where he gets his calculated risk, management from, by taking the picture with Floyd Mayweather. Jaime Munguia, I think there's like they're moving him like kind of like him, like in a way where there's like,
They are
hold on.
going
yeah,
for
we're
a
not
world
gonna put him
title
in with
soon
this
now.
guy, but
Wait,
like
wait,
we but
wait.
Hey, Rang,
what?
What's your take on Eddie going off on Mama Andrade?
She wilding because she wilding like
Auntie's bugging.
you mad
Auntie's bugging.
that Canelo not fighting your son, right? But how is that Canelo problem though? What makes your son different than the people that he fought? Like you know why it was different? Nobody say nothing. You know why it was different with Triple G? Because we as fans wanted to fight. Now, why did we as fans want to fight? He fought Lemieux. He fought Jacobs. He had 3 belts. He done fought everybody else at this weight. Even if it wasn't a lot, he done fought everybody else at this weight. The only thing left for him to do is to fight you. That's why.
I got a response for that. Okay, you said what makes him relevant? First of all, Andrade being more relevant than Triple G actually.
No. That's not what I said. That's
Okay,
not what I said. I said what distinguishes him from the
okay. What
people
I
that
got to
he
answer for
fought.
that. I got to answer. I actually, it ain't about the people he fought. It's about the position of where he been. When you talk about Andrade and Canelo, from my understanding, started off at 154, even if he was sitting at a little catchweight at 155 for a reason. But Andrade being a champion at 154, so has Charlo. And Canelo moved down, got the belt when Andrade was stripped, and then once Andrade became 160, so Canelo was there as well too. Cause they moved up and Triple G was in position. So if you got a guy that's been at multiple weight classes, I feel like he actually have more. I'm gonna say what's the word I'm trying to use. I ain't gonna say more relevant. He's been around you respectively long enough to where say, hey, this dude was a champion at 154.
And you know
Now
what
he's
I'm
a
gonna say
champion
to
at
that, Jay?
160.
You know what I'm gonna say to that, Jay? That's what I'm gonna say. I saw Andre before he joined Matchroom when
Hmm.
he needed a fight. What he said about Lara. Oh, he's boring. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna fight him. He a last resort.
I thought
Karma.
I,
Hold
I
on, hold
thought
on,
Lava
hold on.
backed that out. For
Hold
real.
on. Hold on. Nah, Larry, there was no negotiations for him to back out of. They never entered no talks, no
No,
contract, no terms. Nah, it wasn't none of that. It wasn't none of that.
we
And
had
if
this debate last time though. I told you I believe it's more Lyra. From what I remember, it was Lyra who didn't. I'm a Lyra fan,
and
so let
hey,
me be clear. I remember being Lyra.
I track that whole situation closely because for me, what the Charlo fight is now, that's what the Laro fight was then, and I followed that whole
Agreed.
situation. You didn't try to fight him when your own logic gets
Mm.
turned over against you. I'm not gonna pity you. I'm not like, nah, you thought you was too good to fight Lara. Now Canelo, he fought a prime Lara. When they ask you about guys that he fought, you want to do the okey doke. So you don't have the clout, bro. Period. He fought the Lara that it ain't no reason in the world to fight this fucking man. It wasn't no reason for Canelo to fight him, but he fought him. When they ask you about him, all this, all right, bro, I dig it. I got you. Did you fight Jacobs? No, we're cool. He like my. All right, I got you. I dig it. It's cool. I'm not
Wait,
going to pit. I'm not going like.
let
At
me
the
ask you a
end of the
question.
day, what I'm gonna say is, you want me to care about Andre as if it's pivotal that he fight him, but the very people that buy boxing, they're telling you, no, it's not pivotal. It's not a big deal.
Oh,
Look,
see,
look at
that's
it
what I'm
like
trying to
this.
tell you.
If Andre was to jump
I
to Cruiser
remember it
to fight
being
Baku,
because I was
we'd be
alive. It's
calling it the greatest
2016. I'm
thing
looking
since
at.
sliced bread.
One at a time.
If Andrade was doing what Canelo was doing to go to Cruiser, we'd be blowing smoke up his ass, doing all that. But because Canelo does it Oh, he ducking these guys. Like
Yeah, and
you can't get
I don't
mad when the
believe
logic.
that.
You can't get mad when the
They
logic is
did
used
that
against you.
shit to Floyd, dog. That's why I don't believe. Oh, Floyd ducking Paul. Why he ducking Paul Williams, bro? Make it make sense. How he ducking Margarito, bro?
Yo,
How does that make sense? Like, no, it don't make sense. It's too many guys that want the same fight, and that's what happens with the A side. Like, yo, it don't work like that. The A side gets to the A side, then they do what they want to do. That's how it was for Floyd. That's how it's always been. It ain't gonna change. It ain't gonna change. You know what I mean?
Right.
Manny was on the same motherfucking side of the street as Crawford. Now you don't hear me bothering Manny, right? I could be on that, like, oh, you didn't fight Crawford. But not it's like, yo, look, he didn't want to fight. He wanted to do what he wanted to do. This man already had legendary fights. He already had legendary wars. The onus is not on him to keep appeasing other motherfuckers. It's not. He didn't. He got to the A side by appeasing other motherfuckers.
Which is like
I
it's
remember
really sad. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Leo.
I remember something about Andrade. I don't remember much about his career, but when he was on 154, I remember him talking about money.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, when you fight like the way you fight, I don't hear you talking about. I don't want to hear you talking about money. No, no,
Not,
no, like the way you fight. Canelo can't talk about money because he brings the fans. He gets the fight excitement. Triple G can talk about money. He does does the same thing. But Andrade and 154, nah, you don't talk about money.
oh,
You take the
okay, can I
fights
respond to that?
like the main, but the money they give you, that's it.
Okay, so hold on. So I don't know what made you think he don't have the right to speak on his behalf and make proper business decisions, whether it comes from his stardom, whether it comes from how he started up, whether it comes was he was signed with a big promoter, whether he had a management company that can move him and put him in better positions because each fighter come into it on a different on a different lane. So that's why I gave you the difference. So who are you to say what he can't talk about in his career when he gotta put himself in a position to make money because they still want to get paid? I mean, they don't need to do this for free. And at the end of the day, we gotta respect these fighters when they're making decisions or they making decisions to better their career. And I'll give you one more example. Like we talk about these promotion companies and who you should sign with. And I was telling my brother the other day, you be talking about Golden Boy a lot and you talk about Top Rank. What if they offer you? What you gonna do? He said, no, I ain't gonna sign. I'm like, what? You gonna go off of what we be arguing about off of opinionated shit and not make business decisions? And who's to say him signing with Golden Boy clearly is the wrong decision? But if it's the best offer made at the
Let,
time,
let me ask you
uh,
that,
There's
Julius.
a
yeah,
hold on.
reason
Hold
Let
on.
Kyron
me ask.
Davis.
oh
Now,
my god.
now
There's
Let
a
hold
me
on.
ask
Now
reason
you
why
wait.
that.
guys.
It's too many.
Hold
Go ahead.
Hold
Go
on,
on.
ahead.
man.
It's
Go
too
ahead.
many people talking at the same time. Hold up.
Can
What
I
I'm gonna
finish?
say. Hold on. Let
Okay.
me add to your point. Right.
Hmm.
It's fine for Andre to do what he's doing, and what to me, it's like I don't get into that because opinions is opinions. Everybody got them. But my thing is that logic applies also to Canelo. It doesn't just apply to Andre. It applies to Canelo too. If Canelo know it's more money, if I become undisputed, I make history in my country in a way that no fighter in my country has made. That is the decision that I made.
Okay. I just want to respond to Leo what you said. From what I'm gathering, Andre is not a very entertaining fighter. Am I getting it right? Okay.
That's not true, man. That's
No,
not
I'm
true.
asking Leo. I'm talking Leo directly. I'm asking him directly. Leo, do you think you brought up the reason why he's not getting what Canelo's is because of the way he fights, right? Am I getting that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, that's your opinion. That's fine. A lot of people may share that. I find it like really kind of sad that he has to lobby with Eddie Hearn and Chris Mannix to help him lobby for a fight with Munguia when we know that the media relationships with Golden Boy and the Zone is really tight, that they can't promote that fight, themselves. You know what I mean? It got to come from Eddie. He got to do all the left work.
Now let me say this. Is Andre being avoided? Yes.
Yes.
Golovkin avoided him. I don't give a shit.
Yep.
He avoided him. If
Jamal's
you have to
avoiding him
sit
now.
out, hold on. If you have to sit out for a year, I don't care what your reason is, because if people accuse Sergio of ducking you, which they did, and I was one of them, guess what? You're ducking Andre. Same way. Sergio had a title, and what did I say then? Well, you a champion, and that's your mandatory. But you more interested in fighting a little dude that's moving up. That's what you want to do, right? All right, well, yeah, that's a duck. I understand it. I understand it's Miguel Cotto, and I understand it's more money, and I understand that you deserve it. But the same way you deserve your money, he deserved a title shot. You didn't want to give it to him, right? It is what it is. Same logic with Andre. You don't have to sit out for a year to unify a title. You don't have to wait for Ryota Murata. I know that's a business decision, but that don't change what's going on. You don't want to know. Fight on the same platform. He got a belt, you got a belt. What's the problem? And you can't say it's a money problem. You're going to get a lot of money. You're going to get more money
Hey, if
than
they
him.
unify next year,
My
that'll
thing
be
is,
the
my
best
thing
thing
is
for the
this.
division.
My thing is this. More than one thing can be true at the same time.
Yes.
Is Andrade being avoided? Yes. Is he a casual, pleasing fighter that the fans have decided to support with their disposable income? No. So you can't say, "Oh, he's entertaining," when the market is dictating is he entertaining or not.
Well, look,
He had more fans. They had more fans from the UK come over to fucking his side of the fucking country for a fight. It's fucked up, but it's business.
Man,
It's
Now, hold on,
business.
Beats ain't get to talk. Go ahead, Beats.
all this is entertaining. Like, it's a bit loaded. Like, okay,
No, what I'm saying, and let me finish. Let me add to that. When I say entertaining, in the open market, when his fights are available, are they clamoring to watch it?
You just had the mic, right? The thing is, yeah, like him and Haney, they've got scraps, and they've got like Haney's got contenders who don't want to fight him, and they're saying he's boring. He's boring. It's championship fighting, right? Entertainment shouldn't really come into it with Andrade. If Canelo wanted to be undisputed at 160, well, you've got to fight Andrade unless he hangs the belt up or loses it. And if Hungary wants to be a WBO champion, you have to fight Andrade.
let me get next.
And then entertainment, you've got to compartmentalize that. Well, if he gets the fights that he's supposed to be taking and he's not drawing, well, he won't sell. It's simple as that. It doesn't mean that the contenders shouldn't be fighting him or his rival belt holders. Him being entertaining hasn't got nothing to do with their bottom line. If they're fighting on the zone,
And him being entertaining has everything to do with how much prize is in the prize fight.
Let me finish.
Come on.
Let me finish.
Man,
Can I
Wait,
finish?
hold on. I'm gonna pass it back to Beats because y'all not letting him finish. But I'm gonna add this. I don't talk about money being the issue with Andre because money is not the issue with Andre. So let's can the money stuff. That's not the issue. My thing is this before I pass it to Beats. I don't lose sleep over Canelo not fighting Andre because look at who he fought. He fought Billy Joe Saunders, which is just as good to me. I'm sorry to say. If you don't agree with me, cool. Don't agree with me. He's a crafty southpaw, herky-jerky with a WBO title just at a higher weight. Fine by me. I'll take it. He fought Callum Smith. I thought Callum was pretty good, and I still think he's pretty good. Fine by me. He fought Caleb Plant, last missing piece to the puzzle. Fine by me. In between there, he actually fought a mandatory or whatever. Before that, he fought Sergey Kovalev. Canelo gives me no reason to complain as a consumer. So when somebody comes at me about Andre, I'm like, bro, I don't care about that. I got the fights that I wanted. The kind of fights that I wanted as a consumer of boxing, I actually got them. I cannot complain. He fights more often than everybody else out here, unifies more often than everybody else out here. No, I am not going to complain over this specific person. Beats, the floor is yours.
Opportunities to do that as well. But here's the thing, right? If you're going to say, if you're all on the zone, Munguia, Golovkin, and Andrade, and you're saying he doesn't sell, well, all your purses are set on the zone anyway. All your purses are set. So all that he doesn't draw, it's not really a good point to start to start to say you don't want to fight the guy. It really isn't. Do you want the belt or not? This is championship boxing.
Can I say this? Because this is the reason why I keep finding myself defending it. And it's I respect the opinion, but it's a very objective opinion, meaning it's what I believe is what you're putting into it, because Akeda Plant wasn't all this well-known fighter, and then he found his way in the Canelo fight because it fit Canelo narrative. Billy Joe, I don't know about an entertaining fighter. I mean, they all boxers. So like that narrative gets thrown around for certain fighters when they don't want to fight him, and you're easily repeating it and don't realize why it's getting thrown around, because he must be entertaining enough for the zone to be paying him millions of dollars to be fighting Quilly or whoever he just fought. So hold on, let me finish. So we say this to say and cast a fighter, but all his accolades speak of being an entertaining fighter, and most coaches speak on how highly skilled he is. And last thing to Julius said, goddamn Billy Joe Saunders, it's not the same as Andrade, and there's a reason why.
No. This is what I was like. I'm gonna assume that most of that was for Drew. What did I say? What did I say? I said, as a consumer, I cannot complain. To me, Canelo versus Saunders, I'm about excited over Canelo versus Saunders as I would be over Canelo versus Andre. There's no difference to me.
Okay, well, I get that. That's you. Well,
I'm
me,
a consumer. Like to me, Billy Joe Saunders, and this is not up for debate. He has a better resume than Demetrius. He does.
He been in a position to get the fights.
No. It's not about being in a position to get the fights. Before he was in a position to get the fights, he beat unbeaten Gary Spike O'Sullivan, unbeaten John Ryder, unbeaten Chris Eubank Jr. He took the title from WBO middleweight champion Andy Lee. He has a better resume.
Yes,
I think what I'm trying to say is the consumer has a right to choose where they spend their money. I flew all the way from LA to go see Usyk and AJ in fucking London. There is no fight Demetrius Andre could have other than the Charlo fight right now, where I'll spend $2,000-$3,000 to go see him fight, and that's the bottom line. I can't help that the zone's overpaying him. Wait up, I can't help that the zone's overpaying him to keep him busy because he signed a contract with them. That's the fact.
Man, look, it sounds like you just have a natural hatred or a preference. And see, that's the problem I'm having, because you don't speak for the consumer or speak for everybody that's paying their money. Because, like I said, last time I checked, he got the $1 million deal. Neither one of us don't. So somebody must think he's entertaining enough to promote him and pay him the money he's getting paid. Is he getting the fights?
You both make good points.
I'm saying I work in television.
Let me mediate. First, I don't think that Drew is speaking as every consumer or every man. He's speaking as a consumer, the same way I am. I'm speaking for me. I cannot speak for I'm speaking for me. And when I say that Canelo fighting Saunders is just as good to me as a consumer as fighting Andre, if not better, because he has a better resume, and if he fights Saunders, he can become an undisputed champion at super middleweight. That's just as interesting to me. I've said this a million times. He could fight Andre. I'm not going to complain. He could fight Charlo. I'm not going to complain. He could fight fucking Benavidez. I'm not going to complain. None of them have distinguished themselves. So I'm not going to complain.
I'm past Andrade fighting Canelo, so I'm not even bringing up Canelo. I hear static in the back. I hear static in the background.
Yeah, somebody got wild shit going on with that mic. Who is that?
Okay, what I was making my point on is, okay, if he's speaking on consumer and his opinion, let's not make sure we're speaking as a whole, because it's confusing to me how a guy that's not entertaining is getting overpaid, in your opinion, as much money as he is to get a fight, and he's still getting overpaid. And Eddie Hearn has came out on multiple times and said he's the most avoided fighter. The matchmaking is say it's hard to get this guy a fight. So how entertaining is he? Or that's just your opinion, that's your preference. So
wait a minute. Can I just quickly say this?
I'm almost finished. If he gets the fights like a Charlo, which I want, like he should have got Billy Joe, but Billy Joe popped dirty. with the nasal spray, maybe we can judge from that. But just to say a guy that's being avoided is not entertaining, but getting paid millions of dollars to get fight, that makes no sense to me.
All right.
Do,
Well,
do you work in television and entertainment and marketing and licensing? Because I do. That's where I'm speaking from a position of. You could check my LinkedIn. I know what I'm talking about in terms of how the networks move and distribute money. A lot of the times in sports, they're operating at these niche sports at a loss. There's very few fighters that are in the black. Demetrius Andrade is in the red, but they're giving
what
us
your numbers and
content.
statistics.
Look, can I just say this quickly, right? To the guy saying you wouldn't pay to see Andrade and this and that, like, well, that must mean you don't want to see undisputed fights or unifications. Because the facts are, this guy has a belt, and if he doesn't lose for the next 10 years and nobody fights him, we're never going to get undisputed at 160.
That's not what I said. I said other than the Charlo fight, there's no fight that I would pay to go see him see.
I didn't finish, but I mean, every time I make a point, I must be saying something potent because you don't let me finish my point.
No, well,
go. You know, you don't let me finish your point,
just quote me correctly. I said minus the Charlo fight.
Parliamentary procedure letter. Look. And let me champ this shit, please. Nobody say nothing. Let me make this clear, right? Andrade's issue is not metrics. It's not metrics. His issue is not money. He has money, and you will get money for fighting him. How do I know? Eddie Hearn, his motherfucking self, offered Jermall Charlo $7 million. So money is not the problem, right? Money's not the problem. The problem is that fighters are being given a pass to not fight him. Now, who gets a pass is the question. Munguia should not get a pass. Charlo should not get a pass. Golovkin should not get a pass. The only reason I give Canelo a pass is because he's fighting the kind of guys that these three are not.
Now, do I get?
Can I just say this? All right, go ahead, Beats.
Now, let Beats finish because Beats don't ever get to finish a sentence. Go ahead, Beats.
Right? We're all consumers here, right? We're all consumers. The only relevant people when you're talking about belt holders are the fighters, right? Whether you want to see it or not, the consensus as boxing fans, we want to see undisputed. And the fighters should be, wanting to take Andrade on. Munguia should want to fight him. Golovkin should want to fight him. Your opinion, you'd have to follow along. Whether I never paid to see Andrade, you'd have to follow along because we'll be getting undisputed unification. So you can either go watch baseball or something.
You know what? That's fine and dandy and all, but I'll end it with this. There's a reason Bud Crawford got 8,000 to 10,000 people from Omaha, Nebraska to come to Vegas, and Demetrius Andrade can't get his own home fucking town to come out to see him fight. What does that say? What does that say?
That's not true. He actually sold.
There was more Irish people out there to support Quigley. The crowd was pro Quigley.
Okay, can I say something though?
Go ahead.
One of the big problems, and all the fighters seem to suffer from this disease. They don't want to fight each other. They make money, excuses, this and that. If they fought each other and put in the work, kind of like it equates back to what you were saying about Canelo, how he put in the work. If they actually fought each other, put in the work, they would make bigger draws. People would want to see the fights, and they would be making more money. But there's too much politics and dancing involved, and nobody wants to fight each other. And it's frustrating because there's fights that need to happen, and they're not happening.
Can
I say something?
Wait. All right, let me champ the shit once again, right? Andrade wants the fights. I believe that. I believe that. No, wait. I believe that. I believe he wants the Canelo fight, not just for the money. I think he genuinely believes he can win, which is why I'm not against him getting the fight. I'm actually against Charlo getting the fight a little bit. Like, man, fuck you and fuck your career. You don't deserve it. But that's just me being petty, right?
My last point.
Oh, wait, Beats. I'll pass it back to you, but let me do this. See, if you told me tomorrow, yo, Canelo's fighting Better Beef, cool. Canelo's fighting Bivol, cool. Canelo's fighting Zerto, cool. Canelo's fighting Benavidez, cool. Canelo's fighting Andrade, cool. Canelo's fighting Charlo. Cool. Canelo's fighting Makabu. Cool. Why don't I do that with Charlo? Oh, Charlo's fighting Adams. Charlo's fighting Montiel. Charlo's fighting Hennis Dogan. This is who you're fighting? This is instead of Andre. All right, you can't get away with this. You cannot get away with this.
Yeah, we can't. Listen, let me say this real quick. The zone is very black box, like Netflix, right? You don't really know exactly the numbers of what the viewership count is. I'm not in the business, so I don't know. But if you are on the same platform as these fighters, these notable fighters, there really shouldn't be, and the money is there, right? There really is no zero zip nada excuse for them to fight each other.
Yeah, he's being avoided. It's not a question of him being avoided. He's gonna get. Look, this is.
Let's not argue about draw or anything like that. Let's just they're on the same platform. That's it.
Money is not the issue with Andre. I'm trying to tell. It's not. We don't need to talk about metrics or money. That's not the issue. The money is there. Period. It's not a money issue. It's not. All right. He's being avoided by people on his own platform. So clearly, money is not the issue. Golovkin is being given a pass. Munguia is being given a pass. Jamal Charlo is being given you got 3 guys. Those are 3 super fights that Andre could have. And all 3 of them are being given a pass. Munguia gets a pass because nobody thinks he's pound for pound. So if I tell you, hey, Munguia is ducking Andre, you're going to agree with me. Yes, he is. And then you're going to go back to what you were doing.
Stagnant, man.
Here's the thing.
Stagnant middleweight division.
Everyone keeps saying he's boring. But is it a matter? Is it that he's boring, or is he being left with a limited gene pool of fighters to make good fights?
Agreed.
I agree.
I agree with that. But then how has he looked in those fights with the limited gene?
Bro, listen. See, this what my. Every time you say something, you speak from a negative point, and if Andrade is boring to you and that's not your cup of tea, just say that. And then you ask me, do I work? I don't have to work, because if you ain't got the numbers, what he putting out on the zone, you can't speak. You only giving your opinion or your perspective. Andrade clearly not boring, like Beach just said. He's being put in a position where he can't get in the ring with the guy, so he's forced to fight the Quigleys of the world. Who you say Irish showed up, and guess what? All of them showed up to watch his get his ass knocked out in the second round. I believe Andrade. I'm a fan of Andrade, so obviously I have a bias there. But from what I've been following with the sport and being a champion, Andrade should have been able to get these fights. And I'm not even arguing for the Canelo fight. I think Andrade should have fought Charlo by now. I wish he didn't make a business decision and not fight Jamel. At least he'd have probably had that.
He made look. He made the right decision. How do I know? What did he say? They was offering me less money than the other people on the other card, right?
Agreed.
Now, if you look at his business decision, that's what led him to the million, because I believe he gets $1 million a fight, or at least a little close to it. That's what led him to go into Matchroom. So did he make the right decision? Yeah, he did. The issue is not money. I can't stress this enough. The issue is not money, and it's not metrics. The issue is people are giving Jamal has a faction of his fans that are not urging him to fight Demetrius. Munguia has a faction of his fans that are not urging him, like, yo, put him on the spot. The media don't put him. Yo, why are you fighting Gabe Rosado if you #1 WBO? You've been #1 WBO for over a year. Why you fight? The Gabe fight was great. I like Gabe. We all like Gabe. It's great. Fine. Maybe you could fight him after you fight Andre. Is that an idea? Can I put that out there? Too many people are giving a pass not to fight him. Now, Beats, we were talking about Yanni Beck a half hour ago. When it's time, Yanni Beck, fight Yanni Beck. Period. Why? Because you don't have nobody else.
Resort. Mandatory, you'll have to. You have no choice.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back. What, 11 months ago, Jules, when you first saw Canelo.
Hold on, wait, Drew. I want to actually let Beats finish, because Beats don't never get to finish shit that he say.
Okay, I thought Beats stopped on that last one, but go ahead, Beats.
No, go ahead, Beats.
When Zanny Beck is mandated, and all the people who are hiring him, none of them are going to say Andrade is boring. They're going to want their title shot and they're not going to be mentioning Andrade is boring. We want our title shot. So everybody is very biased to their own agendas. That's the way I see it. When you want a title against Andrade, he won't be boring, and you won't be. Oh, I'm not going to fight him. I'm not going to watch him. I'm not going to fight him. You won't be hearing none of that.
Listen, I fucking watch him. I watch him, so I don't think he's like. I mean, like.
I don't find it boring.
I don't think he's boring. Let me read the super chats. I got two.
Okay.
It's not hard. Andre versus Charlo should happen, and the winner faces the winner. Yes, that's what I want. That's my Christmas list. Make that happen, and people would want to see it. Agreed, 100%. How come Andre doesn't even have a Lara or a Derevianchenko on his record? Demetrius doesn't even have a B-level win. Listen, Jermall Charlo can be that B-level win as far as I'm concerned. Because I think he's a B-level. Honestly, I think he's a C-level fighter. To be real,
I agree.
I think he's a C minus.
I mean, let's go back before Canelo.
Can
got
I
to
ask the
68, Jules? You said
Can I
if
ask-
Demetrius wanted to put himself in a position to get these fights, he should have moved up to 68 a long time ago with that WBO belt. There was plenty of 168 was waiting to get taken over, and Canelo comes in, consolidates it, and everybody's still twiddling their fucking thumbs, waiting around. All of them are guilty of waiting for Canelo. Like you said,
That's not true.
Demetrius,
That's not true.
Demetrius pulled that shit with Lara. It's getting pulled with him. That's how boxing goes.
Now, this is what I'm going to say before I pass it to you, Jay. This is what I'm going to say. Remember what we talked about the last time? I'm like, look, if I try to get the math from a joint and she just don't give me the math, I'm going to move on. Be like, all right, look, I tried, B. What the fuck you want? If y'all want me to fight him, go ask him about that shit. Stop fucking asking me about the shit. I ain't going to stress it. I'm at 60, right? And he's at 68. So I'm going to fight who's right here, right? I'm at 60. Y'all need to press Charlo to fight me. Cut the shit. Y'all be at press row at his fights, and y'all don't fucking ask him about me. Y'all don't ask him about me. Y'all will sit here for 12 rounds of Montiel and won't ask him and press him about me because y'all scared he gonna get mad at y'all. It's y'all really, you know what I mean? It's y'all, like it's the press, all right? Because Howard Cosell wouldn't have. Nah, he not gonna let that go by. Motherfucking Larry Merchant ain't gonna let that go by without saying something like, bro, like we don't fucking want to see this fight. Fucking Bernard Hopkins fought a mandatory, and Larry Merchant was still like, but we don't want to see this shit. Well, that's all well and good. We don't want to see this shit. Somebody need to say it. You go to a Charlo press conference. Who in press row is saying, yo, dog, nobody want to see that shit. No one. We don't want to see Montiel.
Leonard Ellaby will say no comment. And Leonard Ellaby will say no comment. Get him out of here.
Oh man.
Real shit.
Let me first of all, what B said, see, I don't have a bias, unlike a certain person on this call who clearly does. I actually respect each style of fighter and their craft.
You just said you had a bias when it came to Andrade, bro. Stop the bullshit.
Oh shit!
All right,
we got a debate going. We got a
hold
debate
on.
going.
Let me. First of all, look, it's easy to cut me off and switch up my words. I'm gonna explain what I meant. I say I have a bias when it comes down to talking about Andrade. I didn't say I have a bias when it comes down to fighting style. You clearly do because you're the only one arguing and saying the dude boring on here. And like, if you watch boxing, I can appreciate a knockout artist, a pressure fighter, a puncher boxer, a boxer puncher, a boxer, a light-fisted boxer. Like I appreciate multiple styles. When I look at boxing, I look at it as an art, and whatever you bring to the table, whether you get in the ring and who the better man is, that's what I watch. You seem like you have a preference, and you follow fighters that consider more entertaining. I'll go with any fighter that, to me, because any style could be entertaining if you get in there and style makes fights. That's what I was trying to answer the beats. Like I was continuing on saying and moving forward. What Andrade thing is, and he got his matchmaker. He got Eddie Hearn offering guys money, so we clearly say it's not money, and he's not getting these guys to fight him. So why we keep saying why Andrade don't have this, why Andrade don't have that, when they got guys clearly saying they're not getting these fights made for him to even have these guys. And somebody like you get on here and just say, "Oh, he's boring." And I'm still waiting for you to put the numbers up that you supposedly have, since you work in that field, so you can prove that he's not an entertaining fighter.
Now, hold on. Everybody calm down. Jay, this is who you was talking to, because that is where that comment came from. You see the super chat? on the screen?
I did respond to that. I did.
Yeah, because that's who you was talking. Because
I
he
did.
did.
I
Because
did.
he did like all that you just. He didn't say that. This
I
guy
read it.
said that. This guy.
I
So
did read that.
now, what I'm gonna say? Go ahead, Beats. Go ahead, Beats. Go ahead, Beats.
All right, I want to simplify it, right? I want to simplify it. We've got all these alphabet bodies and all these politics. Now, you have to compartmentalize things, right? Entertainment has to take second place to belts being unified and getting undisputed champions. It has to. You know what I mean? That has to be the priority. Now, if you want to see a more entertaining fighter, somebody's got to take Boo Boo out who you like. And that might be however long it takes. It might never happen for you. But that's just how that goes. The first priority has to be Mungia, mandatories taking their title fights, right? Like
Yep.
Garcia and JoJo, that has to happen. And unification, that has to be our priority. Then all that entertaining and who's boring, that has to take a second place to it.
Now this is the problem. Now,
any other sport you go to, right? That you can't go and say, "Oh, I'm going to play Chelsea because they're going to put the bus in front of the goal."
Agreed.
Now, Beats. This is where I'm playing This is where I'm going to play devil's advocate, right? Because I have to characterize the situation. I have to try and understand why is Mungia not being lambasted for not fighting Andre, right? I have to try and understand that. I have to try to understand why are they getting away with it. You understand? And the only way that I could surmise why they get away with it is because Andre doesn't have enough fans behind him to press them. Because I know that the only reason the Golovkin fight got made was due to fan demand. Golden Boy didn't want that fight. That was obvious they didn't want that fight. It was obvious, right? But the fans wouldn't leave them alone. They wouldn't leave Canelo alone. They wouldn't let it go. Canelo went down. He wins a title with a WBO title. If they don't give, like, fight Golovkin. He goes up, he fight Golovkin. He fucking fights fight Golovkin all fucking day for a year and a half. Fight Golovkin, right? So when you have the fans behind you, they create that environment to where, look, I might have to fight Demetrius Andre, right? And what I see is he doesn't have enough of those fans behind him. And that's why Mungia, because he's gotten away with it for a long time now. He's gotten away with it for a long time. Jamal has gotten away with it for a long time. Gennadi's been getting away with it for a year, a little over a year, going on 2 years. They're like, yo, dog, y'all fight on the same platform. What is the fucking problem? Yeah, you fought Jacobs. That's awesome. And you fucking up. Yo, fucking Steve Rose. Okay, fine. You fought Steve Rose. You needed an easy one. Okay. You fought Sergey. Okay. You chose to fight Zeremata. And that's what gets lost in the sauce. You petitioned to have him qualify as your mandatory so you could sit out all of this year without being ordered to fight. That's literally why he did that. And that's what he's doing. And they're letting you get away with it. Now, if you classified Sergio Martinez as ducking Gennady Golovkin, how do you not see that Golovkin is ducking Andre? Oh, he's old. Yeah, Sergio was old. Oh, he needs a payday. Sergio needed a payday. But when it was Sergio, you said, oh, he's ducking Golovkin. Okay, well, Golovkin is ducking Andre. It's not money. There's plenty of money. They gave you $14 million to fight Steve Rose, bro. They'll give you money to fight Andre. You're ducking him, and they're letting you. I've been saying that. Now, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I've been saying Golovkin is on my shit list. What? You didn't need to sit out all of this year. If you wanted the unified title, you didn't have to go to Japan. There was one right there. You're ducking him. You're ducking him. Mungia's ducking him. Charlo's ducking him.
And the fans aren't just letting Golovkin duck him. It's DAZN with the deal they had to amend to appease him. Let's talk about it. If we're going to talk about all of it, let's talk about it.
I agree.
DAZN is letting Triple G get away with shit.
I wonder.
Hold
on. I wonder, now that the contract has been amended, and I said this in a video, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I asked this. Now that the contract has been amended, Canelo is not on the platform. He's not part of the deal. The only reason they gave you that deal was because Canelo was on the platform. They thought it was going to be a third fight. Now we know probably isn't, right? Is fighting Andre a part of the contract? Because I don't believe they're going to keep giving you $14 million to fight guys like Steve Rose. Like, I just, like, nah. They didn't know the market value of a fight. DAZN, their problem was when they first debuted in America, they didn't know the actual market value of a fight. So you're throwing big cash at big names without knowing the market value of a fight. 14 million for Steve Rolls? That's crazy.
Jesse Vargas, Mikey Garcia.
7 million for Mikey Garcia. You're crazy. Like, are you nuts? Look at these fights is not worth this much, but you're paying that out.
Right,
Now
guys.
that they know, now hold on. Now that they know what the market value of a fight is, I refuse to believe that in 2022, if this guy wins this year, I refuse to believe that in 2022 they're gonna let him make 7 million for a mandatory. Like, no, bro, you better fucking fight Andre, bro. And I'm wondering, is that part of the amended deal? Because in my gut, I think it is. That's crazy. 7 million for Mikey Garcia and Jesse Vargas? Bro, Jesse didn't make that fight in Broner. You just gave this guy $1 million to fight Sandor Martin. Are you guys crazy?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, see, listen to all this. I think that, like, what Demetrius needs is he really needs a career-defining fight, like what we just saw with Terrence Crawford and Porter.
Yeah, but he can't get that fight.
That's my point. I mean, just I'm leading to that. It's like he needs a career. But the thing is, how does he get that fight, even though he's on the network? Because it's kind of sad that he has to, like, because after this post, he was like really desperate. He said, "What do I have to do to get the rest of these guys to fight me?" And even Eddie Hearn was like saying the same thing.
I know what has to happen, but I don't know how to make people do it. I know what has to happen, though. I do know what has to happen. Everybody has to attack Jamal. Everybody has to attack Hyman. Everybody has to attack Golovkin. That's what has to happen for him to get the fight. Literally everybody. Why? Because fans demand.
It's either that or he takes some crazy risk in a higher weight class. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because that's the only way. That's the only way. The reason I say it that way is because that's the only way it's gonna happen. Like, I don't know. Once again, I don't know what can be done to make Jamal stop acting. Like, as far as like, you getting away with that, and they still like you. They still want to make videos about you. Like, you really like, you suck, bro. Fuck you. That's what my videos are about. But I can't, I can't make everybody think like me. But I'm doing my part. They're like, no, Jamal fucking sucks, bro. Fuck his career.
Cherry Charlo.
I don't watch him. I don't watch it. Like, I'm like, bro, I'm not watching any of your garbage ass fights. If it's not Andre, I'm not watching any of your garbage ass fights. It's late and I'm old. I don't need to stay up to see that trash.
It goes back to what you were saying, though, Jules. Everybody at the fight on Saturday was there. That was on Team Crawford from PBC. They let all the guys in every division run that playbook. And the fans that support that side of the street, they don't give a fuck. Same thing with Munguia. Same thing with Triple G.
I said this a year ago that the reason that Crawford and Porter, I said this over a year ago, as a matter of fact, the reason that Crawford and Errol may not happen is because you don't have two different sets of fans that want to fight. You only have one set of fans that want to fight. That's the Crawford fans. The Spence fans don't want to fight, so you don't get that Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad dynamic. You don't have that because Felix's fans wanted to fight and Oscar's fans wanted to fight. So you have a big cash fight. With these guys, Charlo's fans don't want to see him in there with Andre, and that's the problem.
They don't want to see him in there with Andre, but then they'll say Canelo's ducking Charlo.
Yep.
We've established that they don't make any fucking sense. We've established that.
Julius, I have a question about Andrade. How he got a title on 154?
Wasn't it vacant against Vanez Martirosyan? I think it was.
Okay, vacant. How he got a title at 160?
It was vacant.
Okay.
It was vacant. But the one at 160, we can't blame him. He was Billy Joe Saunders' mandatory. Yeah, he was Billy Joe Saunders' mandatory, and they made the fight. The fight was done. It was done. But Billy popped for the no shit. He got title becomes vacant. I forgot if he was stripped or whatever, but it was vacant. He ends up fighting Walter Kantundokwa. Here's the kicker. Billy Joe Saunders was made Demetrius' mandatory. What did Billy do? Move up and wait. If he wanted to fight, he could have took the fight. If he wanted to fight, Yeah,
If we go there, like Triple G fought Milton Nunes for his first title. You know what I mean? Like that guy with the bum, right? Canelo fought Matthew Hatton and not even at 154. Let's not go there, man. Let's not just be selective and just try and pile on this
like
guy.
I said, I'm not gonna. I'm not piling on him. I'm just telling you, this is why it's happening. This is what I'm telling you. This is why it's happening, and this is what needs to change. Because if Charlo's fans don't urge him to take that fight, guess what? He gets back out there with more Montiels, makes himself a little $1 million, little 250,000 views on Showtime, and he's happy with that mediocrity. He doesn't. You saw what he said. I don't gotta fight Benavidez. I'm rich. That's where his brain is at.
But you can't pay for a BLT.
I know, right?
The thing is, like, and contrary to popular belief, I go to all kinds of different fights. The moment Charlo Andrade's made, Jules, you know I'm buying that ticket. I'm fucking there. I was the last Charlo fight I supported was when he was in LA against fucking J-Rock, and he's been moving funny ever since. How long ago he's living off that fight like Danny Garcia's living off fucking Lucas Matisse.
That was 3-4 fucking years ago.
And shit like Americans should be fucking clamoring for those two American undefeated champions to fight.
And that's the fucking problem. And that's the problem. Now this is the kicker, right? This is why y'all see me attack Charlo so much. If the Charlo fans put the energy into Charlo versus Andre that they put into Charlo versus Canelo, if they put that energy into an Andre fight, we'd get the fight.
I just want to say this, man. A lot of you guys in that chat section, man, to me, it just sounds like you have fear of Andrade beating the fighters your fanboys of. Yo, Julius, man, it's a pleasure.
No problem, Beats. No problem, Beats. My thing is, if they put that same energy that they use for Canelo, right? If they put that energy into Andre, Showtime would want to pay for the fight. But I saw Tom Brown say this shit. And he's like, bro, you just full of shit, bro. All right. What did he say? Oh, of course Eddie Hearn want to send Andre over here because he don't sell. Well, when he offered to pay the fight, y'all didn't want to he offered to pay for the fight. Y'all didn't want to let him pay for it. So he says, okay, you pay for it then. And y'all don't want to do that either. Y'all don't want to fight. Your fans, the few people that actually watch Jermall Charlo, the few
you had to go there, huh, Jules? You had to get
no, I have, of course I have, because it's the truth. And this is where the metrics come in. Metrics apply to Charlo because he's on another platform. All right. So you need to show that platform that there's an interest. If your fans was telling Stephan Espinoza on Twitter, if your fans was telling Tom Brown on Twitter, yo, fuck this Montiel shit, please. Fuck this. I don't want to see this. I'm about to unsubscribe from Showtime because I don't want to see this shit. That would make the Andre fight. But his fans, they don't want him to fight Andre. They're letting him get away with it.
And then they don't get that after that fight happens, Canelo has a reason to fight the winner.
That's what I'm saying.
No, well, that don't guarantee Canelo fights anything because Canelo fights who he wants to fight.
Jay, there's no guarantees in life, but I'll tell you what, it's a step in that direction.
And like I said, man, I'll say this to that. If Canelo didn't fight them guys at 154 and 160, and he skipped over and got the WBC belt, I'm tired of saying what Canelo did because I keep linking the two. But I don't think Canelo will fight them dudes. He chose not to. Like it's
and I can't agree. Me and you never go agree with that, Jay, because if he was that kind of guy, he never would have fought Lara.
Well, back
also
then,
this, if you give any other fighter Canelo's leverage and give Charlo the clout and leverage Canelo had early in his career, Charlo's moving the same way Canelo moved, if not worse.
Listen. Let me say this. Lara did what Andre did before Andre did it. You know, he showed up, he talked some shit, and he had put Canelo on the spot. And Canelo's own fans wanted him to fight that fight. Like, it was like, yo, you gonna let him talk shit to you? And he had to fight.
He did it in Espanol too, Jules. That Cuban
That's the shit. And that's what I'm saying. So it's like he already been in that position to where yeah, they urging me to fight the guy that is a high risk, low reward. He already did that, bro. And Trout was a high risk, low reward. That's the other thing. He fought a prime Trout, not the Trout that the Charlo brothers fought. He fought a prime Trout that just beat Miguel Cotto. All right, he fought a prime Lara. That
Trout
like,
was undefeated, right? Didn't Canelo
yes,
take his oath?
yes,
Yep.
he was. That's what I'm trying to say. Like all this shit that we saying that Canelo got to not, Canelo ain't got to do shit because he already did that. So that's why I'm like, man, listen, man, he could fight him, he could not fight him, but I don't think he's scared of none of these guys. Not based on the people that he already fought. That don't make sense. The Golovkin fight was more dangerous than an Andre fight. Lara's a prime operator, pure boxer, Cuban school. Yeah, I ain't worried about you being a southpaw. I already been in with a good ass southpaw. What are you talking about?
Hey,
He almost
Julius,
lost.
for the record, y'all connected Canelo again by saying they could get a Canelo fight.
No. Yeah, but I'm talking about the Charlo. Let me make it clear. I'm talking about the Charlo shit, right?
Okay.
Right now, with Charlo, the reason he gets a pass is because his fans are not blasting him for not fighting Demetrius. Same with Munguia. Same with Golovkin. If you talk to a Golovkin fan, what he going to tell you? Oh, Golovkin's old. Oh, he earned a pay. You didn't say that about Sergio. When it was Sergio, oh, nah, he ducking. Golovkin was ducked. All right, well, that same shit applies to Andre, though. He's being ducked.
Cholo, let me tell you something about the Cholo. I never really cared for either one of them Cholos. I didn't know they had Cholo fans until I found that actually I'll be on that TVB I'll be on a TVB call a lot. And that's when I found out they got Cholo fans, but all of them are all the same. It's like they're more groupies instead of actual boxing fans. And a lot of these fans, these boxers got some weird boxing fan that follows them. It's like boxing has changed. It's like they got people who's more fan of their fighter and want to protect their fighter, I guess, and their own little scary ass approach and way they think about and view things when fighters need to be getting in the ring. And it's got something called fighters pride that these fighters don't have nowadays. And they don't take pride in being the best. They take pride in, well, my fans go back me up and they say I ain't gotta fight them, so I guess I ain't gotta fight them. They're not feeling like they need to be held to it. And so that's why we got all this going on. I've been saying champions should fight champions. If you
That's
move
Errol.
yourself,
That's Errol.
without a doubt.
That's
If you,
Errol. How
But
you
that's
gonna go
that's
to the now? Hold on. Let me make the point. How you gonna go to the man fight after you said you not never gonna go to the man fight? You leave before everything, before the smoke settle, because mad people get in the ring after the fight, the cameraman, the teams, da 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 da. You leave before they could press you, right? Why does he feel comfortable leaving? Because he got at least 225 nut huggers, at least 200,000 that'll buy his bullshit ass fight, and he'll tell himself, well, I ain't worried about it. I can make a cool 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mil off of these nut huggers. I don't need to fight Crawford, and I don't have enough pride in myself to compel me to fight Crawford. Like, you don't have pride. That much is obvious. You don't have pride, because if you was proud, you wouldn't move like that. Period.
let me tell you something. I stay in Dallas. Errol got his fans, man, they are fucking weird. Like, I don't even go to shit to where I try to avoid them because they got a weird, like, I don't know what it is about
Are
Errol.
they cult like?
Of course it is.
Jay,
It's like,
I'm gonna tell you the truth, and a lot of people gonna get uncomfortable when I say this, but I'm being honest. They want to have sex with Errol.
Nah, they groupies, bro. Like I was in,
No, I'm
I
not
was in
playing.
Dallas.
Yo, ring. On some cap shit though. Like the first, you ever heard that song by Trey Songz? I can't help but wait.
Yeah.
When I first saw Earl Spence, that song played in my mind. I ain't gonna lie.
Look, I'm an old
Dog,
guy,
I
right?
was-
Listen, wait, let me tell you, I'm an old guy, so I was around for when New Kids on the Block hit the scene, right? Like, I seen how my sisters is older than me. These guys over Errol is the way my sisters was over New Kids on the Block. And they same way they was with Color Me Bad. I wanna sex you. When Color Me Bad came out, when that
Hey,
shit
Julius.
came out, Bro, my sisters went crazy over that shit, right?
Hey, Julius.
That's how these cats is with Errol. And I'm like, oh, so I see what it is. My sisters had a crush on New Kids on the Block, right? My sisters had a crush on Color Me Bad. Y'all have a crush on Errol.
And
Well,
Jules,
Errol's
it's not
also
even
hanging out with
they're not-
that
they're not
yellow
huggers.
breezy dude. And like, you know, he's not living the lifestyle of a fighter, dude. He's hanging out with rappers and still partying
The
and doing
nut
stuff,
Errol,
man.
The nut huggers don't even buy his pay-per-view though. That's us boxing fucking junkies.
No,
I
I
I'm
was
had the
in,
saying
well, look,
luxury.
check
I
this
had
out.
the
I was in
luxury.
Dallas. I was in Dallas for the Garcia versus Spence fight at a party. I'm like, okay, let's order the fight. They're like, no, we got it on Crack Stream. I'm like, how am in your home fucking city and you motherfuckers is not ordering the pay-per-view? That's how I know that Charlo Brothers
now
couldn't
he
have.
making
Charlo
money.
Brothers had
He's
that
making
home workout in Houston. They didn't box
listen.
it up.
He's making money, right? It's not that he's. I know that he's making money, not a lot or not as much as he could be, but I know that he's making some money because that's why he's so comfortable not fighting Crawford. You're not hungry. If you was hungry for bread, you would have been like Floyd when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Remember how he was? I'll fight Shane. I'll fight Oscar. I'll fight whoever. I'll fight. I don't because you hungry for the bread. You getting bread, perhaps more than you should be for fighting Mikey Garcia, for fighting Danny Garcia. Like, bro, you not even all that. But when you got that bread, you'll be like, what am I going to risk? What am I going to take a risk on Bud for who might stop me when I'm already getting enough? I got a ranch. I got horses. And I got Ferraris that I flip in the middle of the night. I don't need to fight Crawford.
Hey, and if it's strictly business, I can't knock it. Work smarter, not harder. I get it.
But I'm gonna call him a
No,
dump. He a
no.
dump.
Wait.
That's
Wait,
business,
wait,
though.
wait.
I'm strictly from the
You
business side. He's getting
can't work
advised to
smarter,
do
not
that.
harder. You can't work smarter, not harder when they have champions that he clearly should be fighting. It's just
I don't
it's
disagree
Look,
with you. I'm
Jay,
saying he's
Jay.
being advised to do this.
Jay, right now, right? If you go on Twitter and you go on my page, it's a quote tweet that I did. Guess who Errol Spence fans want him to fight? Is it Crawford? Just
no.
guess.
It's is it Boots? Who it is? Boots?
Ugas.
Yes.
Okay.
You see
By the
what I
way,
mean?
Ray, I just got a quick question, right quick. Like, all right, Earl Spence did an interview after the fight. I guess Ellie Sekback called him, and he said he's going to be back next year, February, March. And he said he's got a big. I mean, he said he's got a big fight coming up, and I think that fight is against Ugas. So do you think it's Ugas?
If it's look, and I've been just psychic with the shit for a minute. It ain't Crawford.
No, I know it ain't
Crawford.
It's probably Ugas. That's what I think.
It ain't because why would it be Crawford? You haven't fought since December of last year, so I know it's not Crawford. Did they pull strings to get Ugas out of the tournament? You know what? Maybe, but I know it's not Crawford. And your fans, they'll let you keep doing that sucker shit. You trying to convince me? See, this is the difference between me and the people on this panel, right? All of us. This is the difference between them and us. I'm a consumer of boxing. As a consumer of boxing, I can tell you I'll pay for Crawford versus Spence on pay-per-view. I'm not paying for Spence versus Ugas. No. No.
Thank you. Exactly.
You fucking wilding. No, bro.
Julius, I support you with that because I would pay for it, but let me tell you why I won't pay for it. I won't pay for it because of what you just said, pretty much, in my understanding of it. Because it's funny how they got Ugas tied up with talking about he's supposed to fight his mandatory, but I bet you as soon as Errol gets back, and if they want to make their fight happen, the mandatories go get paid and go away, and they're gonna make the fight happen.
Yep. Because it's all about the step aside. If Errol people say, look, let's take a little L of let's say $200,000 or $300,000 because his mandatory is Stanionis, right? What's the biggest purse Stanionis ever got? Honestly, right? I'd be surprised if he made six figures already. So you cut that guy a check. Oh, here's $100,000. Go buy yourself something nice, right? To get Ugas out of that tournament. Like, look, we took care of the mandatory. He not in our way. We lost that 100,000 so we can make these M's because we know we gonna make at least few M's with the Ugas fight. And then you get Ugas out of his situation and you do this fight that none of us want. I don't want to see that shit. It's not that it's a bad fight, but yo, bro, we've been waiting for Crawford for 4 years. We wasn't waiting for Ugas, but y'all gonna do the okey doke sucker shit. And his fans, will let him do that sucker shit. But I'm not gonna support. Like, no, I'm not supporting you, bro. I'm not buying your fucking fight. I didn't buy the Danny Garcia fight. The only one of Errol Spence's pay-per-views that I bought on God is Sean. I didn't buy Mikey. That's a bullshit ass fight. I didn't buy fucking Danny. That's a tune-up fight. It shouldn't even be on. It shouldn't even be on pay-per-view. The only one I was Porter.
Didn't Nugas say that he was contracted to fight Spence till the Pacquiao fight came around?
Yeah, they did the fight. He never. This is why I say that he has no intention of fighting Crawford because they let the cat out the bag. Like Ugas didn't realize when he said that he should not have said that. Because if you're smart, what that means, the WBA stripped Manny to give the belt to you so that you could bring it to the Spence fight.
Julius, did they send Porter over there to possibly somehow take the belt and move it back on that side?
No. Porter, and this is why I love Porter. Y'all call me nostalgic or whatever, right? All of that, Porter was willing to do the fight. 2 years ago, I said, yo, Sean will end up fighting Crawford before any of these guys. Sean will. Why? Because Sean fought everybody. The proof is in the pudding. He fought Brooke. He fought Broner. He fought Danny. He fought Ugas. Ugas was supposed to fight Spence. How does Sean end up fighting him? This is my point. Ugas was literally supposed to fight Spence by way of the IBF. Somehow they wriggled around that shit. I forgot how, but they wriggled around that shit. All right?
Let me ask you this. Do you think that if Porter would have won last night, if he got the belt, do you think he would have retired?
Yes.
No. No.
I believe he would have. You know what? We don't. Too much shit is immaterial. It's like, okay, I'll entertain you. Maybe he don't, but don't expect him to get in no shit. His focus, if he would have won, likely would have been I want a Spencer rematch. If he would have won, you feel me? Like
right.
But don't expect him to get in there with boots. Nah, he ain't gonna do that.
But Julian, two things could be true though. Like you said, two things could be true. You said Porter would have took the fight. I think Porter would have always took the fight. What I was thinking on the business side, they were hoping people by sending Porter over here, hopefully he could have came and got that belt, and then he would have retired off of the Spence fight because Spence was obviously. They would have put Spence as the favorite to beat him in the second fight to get all.
Now, this is what I'm gonna say, Jay. The thing is, they didn't send him. Now, PBC had the opportunity to bid on that fight. They didn't. They were not part of the promotion. So to say that they sent him, nah, they didn't send him. Paco put him on the spot, like, yo, fight. Crawford needs opponents. If anything, I think at the request of Top Rank or at the request, if anything, I think it was more. Crawford needs an opponent, and Top Rank paid for everything, bro. That was a Top Rank promotion. That wasn't a co-promotion like Wilder and Fury. Top Rank foot the bill for all that shit. So I honestly don't believe that the PBC sent him. It's like PBC sent Ruiz, and really they didn't even send Ruiz. He wanted the fight. He was pushing for it. Shout out to Lalo because it was because of Lalo and Ruiz and all of that, but the PBC don't send guys out to bring a belt back. That's a Top Rank move. Top Rank did that with Jose Ramirez. Like, yeah, we'll send him over because he's going to bring back that belt. Yeah, we'll send Bozdick over because he's going to bring back that belt. PBC don't do that.
Did they send Brian Castano? Would he be Patrick Teixeira?
All right, good point. No,
that's one example that they did send him, and he got the belt. So yeah,
I got to give him credit for that because they did do that.
I got a question.
They let him go over there and get that. You're right.
So, to the panel. From what we saw from Bud, how long can he stay prime at 47 to where Boots and Virgil catch him?
Year and a half.
Yeah.
I get him to the time he's 36. He's 34 now, maybe a couple years. Maybe
I got longer.
Yeah,
I got longer because Bud. I think Bud, with his discipline and the type of lifestyle he lives outside of the ring, I think he can actually last longer. Now,
He flexes,
he's going to stay. If he takes care of himself, he's going to stay in his pride for pretty long. So maybe 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
And he's actually a super competitive person. So, like, when you got all that built in one, that's why you got Terrence Crawford. Now, I don't have a timeline on you. I can say 3, I can say 4. Some could say that's too many, but I think Bud lives the lifestyle to where he could keep his prime longer than most fighters would.
I'm going to say that because, right, this my thing. It's not so much about Bud, it's about the other guys. If Boots is who he looked like, it's gonna be a problem. If Virgil is who he looked like, no, yeah, it's gonna be a problem. And that problem could rear its head in about a year and a half. Because Boots shows a lot of but once again, there's things I have not seen you with a puncher. I would love to see Boots versus Boots because that'll show me, or because Lipinets wasn't shit, bro. Come on. Dulorme, he on the back nine. Like, that don't tell me nothing. If it was Boots and Boots I know, all right, you could deal. Like, yeah, you could deal.
And Julian,
like if he gets it and does what he
like
did the Lipinets to
Bud would be smart to get him sooner than later.
Yes.
Julius, you say puncher, but this what I see. I see a guy that Boots are Virgil, and I like them both. I'm a big fan of both. Starting to lean towards Boots a lot more, but I still mess with Virgil because I think Virgil got one of the baddest high guards and how you fight out of it with his hand speed, his punch placement, his power. I like that, his style. Well, I will say this: you say power, but I haven't seen none of them in there with a guy who thinks, who's an adapter, who actually who strategizes.
Look. We're not going to see. Look, we working with what we got because we're not going to see that. The only adaptive fighter at 147 is Crawford. Errol don't adapt. Errol fought like the Porter fight with Errol looked that way because Errol can't adapt. He didn't shift. He didn't pivot. When Sean wanted to come in, you right there, so you gonna fight him because you right there. You ain't got the feet to move out the way. So we not
right. I agree. Just for the record, I know I said that. What I'm saying is and you're right. Who is the guy other than Bud that's gonna actually take shit away from you and make you think and make you fight in a way you're not used to fighting? So you do have a point with that because Errol don't do it, Keith don't do it, and Danny.
Ain't nobody else there to do it. So what can we get? What's the acid test that I have not seen Boots in? All right, one acid test that I haven't seen is a good old chin check. You haven't been in there with a puncher. Now I know Butaev is not a puncher to where he got concussive power, but he's a pressure guy and he gonna throw. I need to see you in there with somebody that's strong that could throw. Because I haven't seen that. Lipinets is not that. That dude was little for 140. He tiny at 147.
Yeah. Because even now,
look, this is the problem.
Even now, Porter's still the best athlete at 47 out of all of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look, this is the problem with Crawford. For me, the writing is in the wall for Crawford. Because if you look how he fights, it's wild dangerous. It depends so much about his instincts, about his reflexes, dodging punches like for 1 millimeter. At the moment, he slows a bit. He's go there with a real guy. He's gonna get caught. Maybe it's Virgin. Maybe it's Woods.
Listen.
No. I'm gonna tell you why Leo right. I'm gonna tell you why he right and why he wrong.
Okay.
He's right that Terrence got a dog in him, and he'll put himself in the line of fire. We seen that. If you touch him, and a lot of what he does, it does rely on fast twitch muscles and reflexes.
Agreed.
The problem is the welterweight division don't have a real guy. I don't know if Boots is a real guy. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know that yet. What if he just ain't been caught with a good one yet? I don't know what he could take. With Virgil, I know a little more. Why? Because I seen him in there with Mean Machine. Mean Machine don't got the best gas tank, but he can punch. Two-time Olympian. So I know, like, all right, you could take a hard shot.
Did he drop Virgil in that fight?
The thing is,
he put him down. He did. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. All right.
And the thing is with Bud, but unfortunately, Bud hasn't been in there with a fighter that can match him intellectually and athletically. So he takes more risks because of that. He can.
Now is Boots that fighter? He looked like he could be that
he looks
fighter.
the part, but we still don't really know.
It's too early.
But I can't tell because I haven't seen Boots' footwork like Crawford's footwork.
Listen, I want to respond with, I don't know which one said it. What I disagree was, multiple guys that spoke, so I might misquote them. Bud's skill set is more required than athleticism and fast twitch. I think yes, he has it, and like I said, I think his the way he works out and keeps his body, I think that's going to keep him in his prime a lot longer. And like Bud is a super competitive person, and I think his mentality alone will keep him competitive. Now, how long he can be great with that, I don't know. Do we have somebody that's matches his everything he brings to the ring? No. When I look at the welterweight division, no. I think Bud will have to move up to be challenged. For as these young guys, y'all say a year or two. I don't even know if that's enough time because boxing is different. And just as much as fast as these guys is and athletic as Boots is, and what have you, Boots get in there with a guy who offsets his timing and start placing shots on him. And that same athletic, quick, fast twitch rhythm that he
That's
has,
what I mean. That I
he
don't
can
know what he is like.
Well,
exactly.
hey,
In
you
all,
And
guys,
what
in
I'm
I
all
mean,
is
wait,
great, but
ring, quick question. Like, let's
what
say,
I
like, let's say Ennis like got in there and did to Butayev what he did to Lipinets. Would that be the seal of approval?
that would be the.
No,
Oh no, wait.
no.
Oh wait. Let me answer this.
Okay.
That would be the seal of approval against the guy that brings what Butayev brings. It's not the seal of approval for everything. See, I done seen Bud with every kind of fighter there
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Textbook
Agreed.
boxer, pressure guy, southpaw, gold
Punches, all that.
medalist. I've seen him, so I know like yo, this dude, full package, full package. This dude, right? With Boots, if you put him in there with Butayev, at least I know he can handle volume and pressure because that's what Butayev brings:
Agreed.
volume and pressure. So I'll know if you fight him and you do him how you did Lipinets, I know you could deal with that. But
Part of
is
a
that
fight.
all? Is that all that
Right.
Crawford brings? No,
do
bring more
you
than that.
guys see Crawford moving up to 154?
maybe
Yes.
what I'm saying
I
about
don't.
Crawford is
Yes,
because
I do.
he's the superior athlete, it allows him to take more risks because he can lean back on being the
It's
better athlete.
brother.
It puts him
It's not superior athlete.
he's
Like
the
when you say
superior athlete in every fight he's been in, so he takes
no,
more risks. The
yes,
same
he's
way Roy
athletic.
Jones was able to do the shit he was the
He's not
superior
a Roy.
athlete.
He's not a Roy Jones. Yes,
I
he's
didn't say
athletic,
he
but
was a Roy Jones. I'm saying, is there anybody that could match it Bud's athleticism that he's ever been in the ring with?
Only Porter.
And
Yep.
and
that's
still then
Athleticism. Hold on. Let's make it clear because a lot of people not even going to know. Everybody's definition of athleticism is maybe is different. My definition of athleticism is what your body allows you to endure and what your body allows you to do. That does not speak to Crawford's boxing. The best athlete that I've seen Crawford fight at this
his
weight
Porter.
is Porter, and that I know that that's elite level athleticism because Porter is consistent. You will not keep him out. You won't. Brooks struggled to do it. Thurman struggled to do it. Errol struggled to do it. Danny struggled to do it. The only one that had a little bit of success was Ugas. For some reason, he gave Ugas a lot of respect. But I know as far as athletes, Porter's the best one that he's fought at this weight. Maybe the best one he's fought so far. Maybe. But you saw what he did. And you saw what he did.
Well, let me defend what I was saying because yes, I know Bud is an athlete and I have eyes, I see it, I train, I coach, I understand what you were trying to say. But it's not his athleticism, it's more of his skill. And correct me if I'm wrong, is balance athleticism or that's a skill set? I would say that's more a skill. Um
No.
it's a
No.
hybrid.
No. Balance is
balance
both.
and coordination. Balance and coordination.
Balance, and all right. That's both. You know why it's
Well, that
both?
has to do with his legs and footwork.
You have to have the timing to do the shift at the
Exactly.
right time. That's the timing, right? Having the being able to react. That's the athleticism. But knowing that, man, I'm not gonna just sit here and trade. I'm gonna shift because he's going this way now. Bud walked him into the fucking turnbuckle with a shift. He tried to
Agreed.
come at Bud and he turned him like, nah, go over there, get out of here. That's
Okay.
both.
Do you say balance and coordination? So what you said as athleticism?
Yeah, balance and coordination is athleticism because you need athleticism for it. You do. You need athleticism. Like you could look. Remember when a fighter getting older, he loses timing. What degrades over time? athleticism. You could know what you have to do, but your reaction time might be delayed. If it's
Yeah, look
delayed,
at Roy
then
Jones.
there you go. So
All right,
it's
let me. Okay, this is my difference. This is why I'm gonna say I disagree with the balance and the timing. I mean, being athleticism. Athleticism to me is the things you can do where your body moves at a speed, a pace, a quickness, a reaction, a explosiveness. I would probably say, and I might be forgetting something. Now, balance and coordination. It's like the slowest people could step and move without no athleticism because they're coordinated and have the balance to do so. So when I'm sitting up here thinking about it, I don't lean that towards athleticism. It's more of a skill set to me than anything because I don't think it requires athleticism to do it. Coordination is being able to step in rhythm and balance is being able to maintain.
it's a skill because you know to do it. It's partly athleticism because you can do it. If you didn't have the athleticism, you could know. Like Paulie know a lot of shit, right? Paulie Malignaggi, right? You know a lot of shit. You know what he's talking about. But does he have the athleticism to put that into practice? A lot of the things. That's what I'm talking. And like when you talk about balance and coordination, see, like simple shit like parrying, that's a skill. That's a skill. Decoy punches or setting up punches, that's a skill. But being able to time a guy, now that's athleticism. That comes down to reflexes. You have to have
Reflexes.
you could know, but you still got to be able to get it off at the right time. That boils down to reflexes. Crawford is able to do a lot of what he's able to do because he has the knowledge of how to do it and the athleticism to put it into practice. Everybody don't. Like Errol, I don't know why everybody think Errol is like, I just don't know because I'm like, yo, dog, he's not athletic. Don't you see? He can't
Well,
keep
Ray, they want to have sex with him. That's why.
Where do you place this? The ability to make. Where do you place the ability?
I'm not lying, dog. That's what it is. That's what they like. They look.
His fans is with him. Man.
And you got to understand, Crawford puts it all together, though. He has the fastest. He has the fastest computer in his brain to make the decisions.
Yeah,
that's what. I don't know if that's not athleticism or skill. He was just God-givenly blessed with a brain that processes the information.
No, but some
faster than
things
anybody
do.
else.
Look. Like for example, here's an example of athleticism. Right, the girl that Michaela Mayer fought. Why can she keep throwing punches this long throughout this duration of the fight? Why is it that she could keep throwing punches in round 10? The same way she was throwing punches in round 1 because she got the athleticism. She got the gas tank to do that. Everybody don't got that. Whatever your body is allowing you to do, that is athleticism. Now, technique, that's something else. You know, knowing how to parry a jab.
Look, this is the difference between Crawford and Canelo. When Crawford ducks a punch and throws, it's different when Canelo do it because Canelo, if he doesn't see the punch necessarily, he do 3 or 4 defensive moves because it's not sure. It's not really sure. So he move his head, he parry. That is the difference with Crawford. Crawford knows because he's seeing it in slow motion. Maybe better.
And that's athleticism. That's
Crawford has the better.
Tim Bradley was talking about that shit when you start seeing in the fight I just mentioned, the Mayer versus Hamadouche. When you got the athleticism for the shit, you start seeing shit in slow motion. Like, oh, you have it in you to react to it. And everybody don't have that. You could know. Like Paulie knows,
and
but
Roy,
he don't have the athleticism.
Roy had it the best.
I agree with that.
Ray, you know what's a good example? You know what's a good example? You ever seen the movie The Green Hornet? How Kato would slow down time with his eyes and zoom in on the action.
Quicksilver in X-Men.
Yeah. There's running scenes, all that.
Slow, but he out of there. He catching mustard and ketchup and eating hot dog. He's fast.
Yeah, but my point is, reflexes cannot be preserved in the way your body condition, your stamina can be preserved. Reflexes are gonna last as long as they need to last.
But that's the point I'm making, Leo. Yeah. That's the point I make. That reflexes and timing relates to athleticism. not skill. Because when your reflexes go, they go. You could know what you have to do and not have the reflexes to do it. So that comes down to athleticism.
Wait, but see, this what I'm this why this is my argument against that, because timing, to me, you don't need speed to time somebody. You can be slow and still have good timing. Now,
I
how
don't
quick?
disagree with. I'm not disagreeing with that, but you must have some hella. You would have like if you got a really fast fucking guy, dog. You can't have shitty reflexes and catch him. You can't. That's like you can't have shitty reflexes and catch a fast guy.
Matter of fact, wait, Rain. You know what's a good example of this? The Luke Campbell Ryan Garcia fight. Luke kept fighting like he was trying to time Ryan, and in the second round he got him.
And Luke ain't that
Go-
fast.
Exactly. That's a perfect example of how timing beats speed.
No, well, and go back to Klitschko Joshua. Klitschko knew what he had to do. He couldn't do it no more. He couldn't put it together.
I agree with that.
Can I make my point before we get buried? All I want to say is I think somebody brought up what Bud had long. I think Bud, I don't think it's just depend off athleticism. I think how he fights and how he just how high his IQ is and the way his body fights and what he does in the ring. I think if he did lose some of his athleticism, I still think he can beat some of these top guys off of just all the things he know and all the adjustments he's making and what have you. And the last thing I want to say about Bud was I realized about different fighters, and if you see this, every fighter ain't willing to sit when the shit get hot. Most guys move, most guys retreat, most guys put themselves out of position where they can't even counter. Bud actually sits in the line of fire to get what he needs to get.
No. See, this is where we gonna disagree. You know why Bud sit there? Because I'm quick enough to slip and counter. I'm quick enough to slip and hook. But
I'm taking what you got so I could get.
But it's back to the athleticism. Bud's not sitting in there like the 12th round Sergio Martinez against Chavez. He's sitting in there because he know he can get out the way.
Bud ain't no take one to give one. He ain't a take one to give one. He there because he knows I'm quick enough to slip and hook. I'm quick enough that if you throw something, I could get out the way fast and get back.
He just did it in the Sean Porter fight, and he also did it against the Jose Benavidez when he knocked him out with the head
He was slipping and rolling. He was not there. It wasn't no Omar Figueroa versus Guerrero type dumb shit. Like, it wasn't like that. No, he know I'm quick enough that I could slip and hook. He know that. I'm quick enough I could pivot and hook off the turn. He knows that. That's athleticism. That's not just skill.
We all agree that Bud is just a great fighter. Can we say that?
Yeah, we know that. I know that for certain.
I can agree on that.
Nobody's disagreeing on that one.
I agree with that. Hey, Julius, listen. I think we got similar outlooks. I just think our way about dressing it, we just approach it different. But I do agree. Bud is actually my favorite fighter, and yes, I do agree he's a great fighter.
All I'm saying is if Boots turns out to be, and once I don't know, that's the fun part as a consumer is finding out. But if Boots is who he looked like, then he could be a credible threat because he's not just an artillery guy. He's ambidextrous. He's real. Like, to me, I see Boots do things that Errol didn't do on the way up. And I'm like, yo, if he is who he looked like, yeah, he could be some shit. My question is, well, how long can he keep making 147?
That's bingo.
Julius, let me ask you one question, and let's keep this in context. What about him? Listen to the question. I know he's more skilled than AB, but listen to what I'm about to ask you. What about him when AB was shrinking down and doing whatever the hell he wanted to do? He fought at whatever rhythm he wanted to fight at, and actually looked pretty damn good. What about him is different, and he have shown you for his IQ stuff that shows you he's really levels ahead of people, other than his quick twitch, his reflexes, and all that stuff like that. Because that's what I see when I see him.
What I see is good shot selection. I see good shot selection. I like the punches. I like the punches that he decided to throw. I like that. But I don't know. My whole hang up with Boots is you said levels. That's my thing. I don't know that he's levels above shit. Well, you levels above Lipinets. Like he levels above him,
Yeah,
probably.
no, I don't know what his gas tank is.
I don't know what his chin is like. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like
Now I got a question. Did Crawford do enough to usurp Usyk off the ring IQ pound for pound list?
no.
Okay.
Yes, he.
Mine,
Hold on,
no,
not
he
what you
didn't.
say. Take him off, or what you say?
Nah. Mine is simple. Like mine is set. Like a lot of people don't like that about mine, but I avoid a lot of bullshit by keeping it simple. No, what this dude did was some shit. All
I mean,
right, now Crawford. Now I'm gonna tell you. Hold on. Now I'm gonna tell you what it'll take. If Crawford picks up 2 more world titles, then he'll bump him off because that's all he needs is 2 more world titles to bump
Okay,
him
you
off.
just answered
That's
my
all.
question because I was about to ask that
That's all it's gonna take.
if
Remember,
he beats
Oh,
Smith.
Usyk
okay,
ain't
he's bumping
undisputed.
off title.
Usyk is not undisputed at heavyweight. What do they have in common? They were both undisputed at 1 weight. What's the difference between Crawford and Usyk? Crawford been a champion at 3 weights. He been lineal in 2 of them, lineal and Ring Magazine in 2 of them. Right now, Usyk ain't Ring Mag at heavyweight, and he ain't lineal at heavyweight. So all Bud needs to get past him, because I got him right behind him, is pick up 2 more alphabets. Can that
But
happen?
What if he
I
got
don't
one?
know.
What if he
I
got
don't
one?
but
know.
What if he got
that's
just one?
why I had Bud over him already because of what you just said. Bud has. I know you gonna say he started off at cruiser, but that's not Bud problem. Bud still have multiple weight classes over Usyk, so it's like he's already ahead of him because that's just unfortunate. Usyk
Now
is
I'm
a
gonna tell you
talented
what.
fighter.
Now I'm gonna tell you what. This is why Usyk is ahead of him. How hard is it to win a decision on the road?
Mm.
And how
Well,
hard?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna make it worse. I'm gonna make it worse, Jay. How hard is it to win a decision on the road while while his country is at war with your country?
damn,
I literally seen Usyk do that. Literally, they could have robbed him in Russia if they felt like it, and nobody we'd have been mad about it, but it wouldn't have been shit we could do about it. They could have robbed him if they felt like it.
I see you added that in there because Bud went on the road too. So
I'm not knocking that, but he didn't win every title that he ever won on the road.
no,
Usyk
he
did that.
didn't.
Hey,
It's
Usyk
like
did.
it's
Okay.
like the college football polls, like the degree of difficulty.
Do you think Usyk? This my other argument. I'll interject this. I think he still got to go beat AJ again because he got unfinished business. It's not determined because if AJ get them belts back, it's AJ back on top.
well,
So
that's the other thing. That's the other thing, which I'm not. I'm not gonna be too cool because I don't like ranking heavyweights on a pound for pound. To be honest, only reason I like Usyk being there is because he's not a career heavyweight, but that's
right, he started up.
other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a cruiserweight.
Hmm.
But if Joshua beats him, he's off until he get a belt, because I don't like look,
Agreed.
if you lose, and I had to make this case a million times. If you lose, when you lose, I don't know if you gonna come back the same. Some people don't. Some people lose a fight and they don't be the same after that. Never again. Jeff
Is he
Lacey lost to
off?
Calzaghe. He's off indefinitely. Like you
Is
off
he
the
off if
list.
he loses the way Chocolatito lost to Estrada?
Yes, he's still off.
Okay.
A
Okay.
loss,
It's,
I
a
had to
loss is
ask.
a loss. But I still will have Bud on my list. I'm still gonna have Bud over him. Yeah, I just told you that's my favorite fighter, but I still have his resume and his accolades to back up my argument for Usyk. And Usyk unfortunately moved up 1 weight class. Bud moved up 3.
yeah, but
So
Usyk,
like
look. Let's look at the number of world champions that each got beat. Bud beat Ricky for the WBO. He beat Pastor for the WBC. He beat Ndongo for
I think he
the.
got 7 or 8. I think he got 7 or 8, but
Now
keep
we
going.
talking about the ones that had a belt when he fought him, which is a smaller number and it's much more simple because if you add former champions, that's a broad list, dog. Like I don't even know what condition that man was in when you fought him. Case in point, which I always talk about, Anthony Yiggett fought Chop Chop Corley. Yes, Chop Chop Corley was IBF champion a long fucking time ago, right? But
Kono
if I
fought Yuri Foreman for the fucking belt.
word.
Dog.
So it's like I don't go off former champion. I want to know when you fought him, did he have a belt and was he a reigning champion? And that's how I do it. So by that count, all right, Crawford fought Ricky for the WBO. He had the WBO. Pastor had the WBC, and that was for the Ring Magazine also because they was number 1 and number 2. In Dongo, he had the IBF and WBA. That's 3. He went up to 47. He fought Jeff Horn. That's 4. That's 4 world champions he fought. Let's look at Usyk. Usyk fought Breeders for the WBC. That's 1. Glavatsky for the WBO. That's 2. Garcia for the WBA and the IBF. That's 3. Joshua for 3 world titles. That makes 4 world champions. They tied. Now Crawford fought in more weight classes than Usyk, but is it harder to win a belt from Ricky Burns than it is to win all your belts on the road? You know the answer. Every belt the man won, he was on the road. Even for his title defenses, he was on the road. He could have got jerked in any one of them countries, but he won so decisively. Now you can't steal it from him, B. He beat Joshua. It would have been easy to rob him in the Joshua.
And that run to be undisputed at cruiser was better than Bud's at junior welter.
I'll say it was more difficult.
Just like you said, Taylor's
let me just say,
run.
I think it was harder. I do think it was harder. I wasn't completely sure in the Breeders fight, and I was right to assume that Breeders was going to give him a run for his fucking money. I was right to assume that. It's a lot harder because he had to go through more people to get it. But also it's harder because he's on the fucking road. He could get jerked at any time. Look. Some people think Castaño got jerked, right? If they was in Argentina, I don't know how you scored the fight. But that's not the point. If they was in Argentina with that same Charlo and they had that same fight, do you think Argentinian judges would have scored it a draw?
Nope.
No.
That's the same thing. That's the same thing if Martin Murray, Sergio Martinez happened in the UK.
You know what I mean? So when I say it's harder, I know I'm on the money. Like, your dog, he could have got look. If he would have, and I'm being honest, they're gonna call me biased. If he would have got robbed in the Joshua fight, I'd have been like, yo, it's a tough break, yo. It's tough out here, B. Can't coast on foreign soil, knock his ass out, man. Because you get robbed out here, B. You get robbed.
Ring about if Crawford picked up another belt, like just one more, would it change his spot, or would he still be in the same place?
There would be an argument because that's one more world champion than Usyk. Right now, they're tied 4-4.
Well, it wouldn't be an argument for me because he's already up there. But
I do mind by the numbers.
Okay.
I do mind by the numbers. If
you got a criteria you follow, right? So yeah.
Like put it this way, right? Let's just say that Spence finds his balls next year, right? And Crawford, he knock him out. How many titles does he win on top of the one he got? 3. How many titles does Usyk have right now? 3. Who beat more world champions? Crawford. All right, so you can move past them. Why? You beat more world champions. You've been a champion in more weight classes. That'll be enough.
Okay.
Say they both get undisputed at 47 and heavy. Who's more impressive?
If Usyk becomes undisputed, and I've said this, and a lot of people don't like it, but it's the fucking truth. That's what pound for pound is literally all about. Literally, anybody who's not a heavyweight becoming a heavyweight champion. That's literally what pound for pound is all about. Literally, right? So if he could do that at 2 weights, right? In this era where you need 4 belts to get it done, he's number 1. I'm gonna have to look at it because Canelo is a bad dude, man. Canelo is a bad dude.
Jules,
Canelo is a bad dude, man.
That's the biggest weight jump from cruiser to heavy.
He's about to go to cruiser, dog. That's 32 pounds.
Man, listen, first of all, I get that, but it's still weight classes. And my argument for pound would be Crawford went through multiple weight classes, meaning he done showed you in 3 different weight classes that his skill set is the top. And
I'm about to show you that in 5, bro.
No, what? We're not talking about Canelo. We're talking about Usyk,
okay,
right?
we're talking about Usyk. All right. We'll
look at the weight discrepancy. What's the jump from cruiser to heavy?
Now you add. Listen, now you moving the goalpost.
Look. Y'all taking a lot of context out this shit, and y'all not thinking about the environment. Think about the environment first.
That's a preference.
No, it's not. Think about the environment. I'm talking about in a world where Usyk versus Fury is next. In a world, right? The size discrepancy is huge between Usyk and Fury. The visual would be nuts, right? And then you would see it with your own 2 eyes that this little motherfucker is pound for pound. Imagine a Sunday morning where Usyk outclasses Fury, not on strength of arms, just boxing, because he ain't stronger than Fury. He's not stronger than Fury. He ain't bigger than Fury. So what beat Fury? The skill.
If Usyk beats Fury, I'd take my argument back and give him that. For right now, I got Crawford over. Actually, Crawford is still number one on my list. Canelo number two,
I
and I
can't put
put
Canelo.
Usyk number three.
I can't make that make sense. Like you, that's your preference. I cannot make that make sense by the numbers and the stats. I can't make that make
Usyk
sense.
becomes undisputed. He owns this era. Yeah, I said it.
Can somebody said that Usyk run was better than Bud, and the only way I think that's a fair assessment if we rank the champions where they were ranked when they fought him.
I
It
could
is
tell
that
you.
a fair
All right. Now
assessment?
I could tell you this. Maris Breedis' reign as champion was better than Ndongo's. It was better, and it was longer than Postol's. Postol only had like one title defense, I think, if that. He only had like Maris Breedis had several.
Right.
Gassiev, he was
Mm.
unified, and Dongo was unified, and Gassiev was unified. So I think they about even. But you still got to think about Glavatsky, and you still got to think about Joshua, which is really like Joshua's a big one for Usyk. Like, yo, this dude had title defenses. He fought top contenders. He didn't just have one belt. He had three
No,
fucking
you can't.
belts.
You can't connect the two. We're talking about when he was undisputed,
Oh,
right?
And then
Okay, so
he got that through the
so
tournament too, right?
Yeah, he got the Ali
so
tournament.
let me add something to it. You said the guy that you declared deemed more worthy because I think you said he held it longer.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
what's his name? Shit, you know I
Breedis,
know his name.
Breedis,
No,
Breedis.
not Breedis. The one that Danny had to pay step aside to two times
Oh,
when he got one foot. Yeah, so
Postol.
okay, so how long did he have his belt?
He didn't have it long. He only had it for like I'll say 2 fights, not including the crow. Well,
I want to
really,
say something next.
he only had it for 2 fights. He because I think he defended it once, and then he lost it after that in the
Wasn't
Crawford fight.
what? But why wasn't Danny paying him step aside money? So I
No,
mean,
he didn't have the belt yet. That Danny situation
okay.
is before he beat whatchamacallit, and it was vacant. But that was before all of that. That was before all of that. If you compare, look, Breedis is number one now. He's number one now at cruiserweight. That's how that victory has aged for Usyk.
Wait,
One of the guys
okay.
that he fought en route to undisputed, he's still a top guy now. And then now, whereas
I-
Postol, he faded out.
Is
And
Breeders
Dongo,
a champion?
he's lineal champion right now. He got the
Oh,
IBF and he won a tournament.
oh.
He look,
Why Canelo not moving up and fighting him? Okay, I get it.
while
I got
Andre ain't moving up and fighting him, you can't use
Here
that
we
Okay.
go.
standard. You
I
can't
want to
use
say
that
this.
Here we
standard.
go.
I want to
Here
say
we
this,
go.
Julius. Julius, I want to say this. This is what Canelo is pound for pound number one. Canelo can go for multiple weight classes, defeating champions, being undisputed, and everyone at the end of the day thinks all those guys were cherries.
Yeah.
That is go. That is how good he is.
Listen, it's
Hold on.
simple. No,
So
hold
you
on,
can fight.
no. If you really, I got a formula that was an experimental formula. This was an experimental formula. I'm gonna tabulate how many pounds you fought in as a total. Whoever has the most pounds and been a champion, and in that totality, that's number one, right? If I apply that alternative formula, yo, who Mike is wilding? If I apply that alternative formula, that's saying that Canelo has been a champion anywhere from 154 to 175, right? How many pounds is that?
You mean what? Well, damn, I can't throw this out because I was about to
21
say
pounds.
155,
How
but
many
21
pounds?
pounds.
Now, how
21.
many pounds? All right, 21 pounds. Now, how many pounds has Crawford been a champion? 35, 40, 47. How many pounds is that?
12.
That's less than Canelo, right? Has Canelo done more in 21 pounds than Crawford has in, 12 pounds?
Mm-hmm.
There's your answer. Because pound for pound is about saying that your skills is going to carry through regardless of the weight. Canelo showed us that. Canelo showed us that. Like, yo, dog, the dude been a champion from 154, 160, 168, 175. He's still a champion, and he about to jump another 32 pounds to cruiserweight. It's not complex. Pound for pound is all about saying that 10 pounds of gold is better than 30 pounds of boogers or 30 pounds of cat hair. Like, yeah, it is. It's 10 pounds of gold. You just turn the gold into skill. Who's more skilled over more weight classes? That's what it is.
It is. Let me set the stage. Okay. It's Sunday, November the 28th. Jules is eating leftover turkey, and George Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez. What happens?
Yo, you know what happens? Let me answer the question. He comes in. He'll come in at number 10. He'll come in at number 10. He'll come in behind. You know why he'll come in behind Jamal? Because Jamal fought more champions. Even if you beat Teofimo, right, and you bump him off my list, the rule is if you want to be a pound for pound fighter, you might have to beat a pound for pound fighter. That's one of the rules. So Kambosos to get in, but you literally getting in at the bottom. Something happens, you'll get bumped off real fast. Why? You only beat one champion, Lopez. Jamal beat two. He beat Tony Harrison to get his WBC back. He beat Jason Rosario. That's two champions. You only beat one. You got the same number of alphabet titles as Jamal, but he beat more champions than you.
Agreed. Hey, listen, I actually like what you just said because we had the same when I was saying like weight classes, but you're adding the pounds in it. I never thought of it. So I say this, I'm not ready to accept that formula just yet, but I do respect it.
Yeah, because I had to come up, look, pound for pound, everybody act, at least I'm gonna say casuals. I ain't trying to violate like the people that don't watch as much boxing as I do or whatever, and that's fine. But skill is measurable. You know a proper jab from a lazy jab. You do. Right. You know what good footwork look like. You know how setting all of those are skills. Yo, who Mike is wilding? All of those are skills, and skill is measurable. It's not ethereal. It's measurable. You know a good jab from a lazy jab. You know a good right hand from a shitty right hand. You know a right cross. All of that. It's measurable, right? And we talking about the best of the best. Ain't no shame in not being pound for pound. There's plenty of good fighters that ain't pound for pound. But if you talking about them kind of guys, it is certain shit you got to look at. It is like all the pound for pound greats got certain shit in common. From Lennon.
Okay, we got some breaking news from Lance Pugmire. Tim Tszyu took the step aside money and Charlo and Castano in February in Houston.
Wow. Whoa. What about Murtazaliev? What about Murtazaliev? Because
that's what Lance is reporting right now.
Hold on, let me see this shit. I ain't mad at that.
Me neither.
I ain't
I'm
mad
saying
at
they
that.
needed to run it back.
I ain't mad at that. That's all right. Let me go to Lance on Twitter, see what he talking about.
You know, because Tim got that Australian money ready for that purse bid though, Jules.
They gonna have to deal with him regardless. He ain't just gonna be able to go away.
I'm betting on Castano. I'm putting money on him. I'm sure he gonna be the underdog, so I'll be putting money on him.
All right, an official familiar with the situation tells USA Sports that a resolution has been struck with Tim Tszyu allowing the WBO Championship Committee to sanction the Brian Castano-Jermel Charlo rematch. All right, so they must have paid Murtazaliev to step aside too, because Murtazaliev, that fight got ordered in July. That ain't bad, though. Shit, run it back. That ain't bad.
And then underneath that, Klimas has filed the motion with the WBO too.
I don't know what Andre gonna do, but I'm gonna have fun finding out. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know if he's gonna decide to fight this guy, if he's gonna decide to fight him. I just know the top rank will be willing to send him over because that's what they do. If you are who we think you are, bring back that belt. We'll send you over there. Bring back that belt. Because that's how they do that. That's how they do this shit. They'll send you out if they believe in you and they believe you can win. Bring back that belt.
Hey, Rain, quick question.
Early thoughts, fellas, on the Castano-Charlo rematch.
Shit, let's get it.
Look, Jermel's not perfect. He's not perfect, right? But he showed in the Harrison rematch that he could dig down and get the knockout. And he actually hurt Castano in the fight. A lot of people don't pay a lot of attention, but he hurt him in that fight. You could argue that Castano deserved whatever. You could go ahead and argue that. I saw Jermell hurt him at least 2 times.
You hurt him early, I think, in the second round too, right?
I think he can knock him out. I think he can knock him out.
And where does that winner go on the pound for pound ring IQ list as undisputed?
Let me look at the list. I haven't looked at it in a little. I mean, he's already ahead of Teofimo. I think I have him ahead of Teofimo. Let me see. Hold on. Wait. Let me bring it up. Okay, let's say that Jermell wins that fight. Right now, Jermell is at number 10. Right now, he'll move past Teofimo, and he might move past Juan Francisco Estrada, because he will have beaten more world champions than Estrada. The only thing Estrada really has on Jermell is he's been a champion at 2 weights. Never been undisputed. He's been unified before, but he's never been undisputed. If Jermell does this, he moves into number 8. Past Lopez and past Estrada. He'll be behind Josh.
That list is going to move a lot in February with that fight, and then Estrada Chocolatito February, March too.
But he'll move because Lopez, you know, dog. Like, you know how I feel about this shit. I don't gotta keep talking about that.
Come on, dog. They got J-Lo, dog.
I ain't worried.
J-Lo.
I ain't worried about that shit. But yeah, if
they taking the belts, they taking the belts on the road, man, like the Globetrotters.
If he not, and look, I don't dislike Castano. I like Castano. I've liked Castano since before even for Lara. Like, that kid is nice. But I'm gonna say that I wouldn't be surprised if he get knocked out, because Castano has one way to fight. You're gonna pressure the guy. You're gonna stand in front of the guy and pressure the guy. That's what he's gonna do. And Jermell know that. So the next time you hit him hard and catch him with some shit, finish his ass. Because that's what you didn't do. He got him hurt, but he didn't finish him. On that note, I'm gonna call it a night. I need to get a jump start on the day. It's a lot of shit. Gentlemen, always a pleasure.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, Joe. Good night, fellas.
Have a good one, man.